Exactly.
Mark, I saw you carrying a couple of big.
I'm gonna go listen to the audio from my house.
Red and white boxes.
But it's all recording, it's all-
My house was nice.
You can just-
But not on Monday, not on Friday.
We have a couple of birthdays here, since you guys get some.
No,
So we have some of the breaks.
what?
Donuts.
That was always.
Donuts. I would see.
What?
Am I? Did you got enough for it? No.
You don't do the stipends? Give it to him. Barry doesn't do it.
Whoever does the stipend. Oh, whoever does it, whoever wants. It's like.
So, sign up if you want.
Well, the other thing
Agenda?
is, if you get the stipend, you're technically employed in the county. And you can take things off on your taxes.
You need an agenda?
No, I ended up going to the county website and printing out things.
Okay.
But next time I'm gonna come down early and pick it up.
I wanna pass out some stuff under item number 2, so after you get through item number 1.
Yeah. Are we good to go? Are we?
Yeah, we're live.
We're live, okay.
We're national.
Anyway, she read it back down.
I'm gonna call the meeting to order at 9:33. And welcome to the Historic Resources Commission. We're gonna take a roll call here, and I'm gonna go in order of district, and we're starting with our newest commissioner from District 1. And you can just tell us that you're present.
I am present.
Yeah, District 1, Jim Evans, present. District 2, that would be me, present. District 3, Commissioner Orlando. Commissioner Perlman, present. And Commissioner Phillips.
Here.
Right. Thank you for that. And just because we do have a new commissioner, Jim, I wonder if you want to maybe take just a moment or two and just kind of give us a quick introduction.
Sure. Have always been interested in history. As a matter of fact, I was teaching about history. Now I used to teach history at Pajaro Valley High School, and found that mostly students of 15, 16 years old were not all that much interested in the history, but their parents were much more interested in history. So when they would come to class meetings, I would find more interest with them. So I would incorporate local history to the history classes, just to maintain an interest in it. So when this opportunity came up, I contacted Mom and said I would be interested. And he said, fine, sounds good. So here I am. Ready to work.
You reached in, that's great.
I did reach in.
That's.
There's a lot of history going here.
There was an enormous amount of history.
Yeah.
I thought a whole class could be devoted to
Yeah.
history.
And I'm sure you've read the Sandy Lydon books and
Yeah.
Margaret Cope book. And
Margaret, no.
That's a pretty old one,
it's a good one.
but it's good.
It's very broad in its approach. Yeah, covers pretty much the entire county.
Talked with Sandy in the past about certain things, when I was putting together a chronology of local history.
Well, welcome aboard. We're happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay.
My turn.
Agenda item 2. Yes, Matthew, you said.
Yes, okay, who needs an agenda that doesn't have an agenda? All right. All right, I inadvertently left out a DPR form. Relevant to Santa Cruz Inn Motel, pass that around. And the leftovers come back to me. And then I also have a hard copy of the demolition by neglect ordinance and an attachment that goes with it, is stapled together. Pass that around because I don't think, well, you've got the electronic copy, I believe. This is the hard copy.
What I have is this one. This
Yeah,
is
it's the same thing, yeah.
Okay. so-
Yours is difficult to read because it's probably zipped down to 8 point. And I printed it as a regular item with a 12 point, I believe. 11 or 12.
So I had a question about that. I did not see that on the agenda. I saw demolition by neglect, but I did not see demolition ordinance on the agenda.
What's one,
8A is the demolition by neglect ordinance.
verbal update, not ready to move forward, but we're doing a workshop.
Well, that's
That
just
was
demolition by neglect,
Right, that's 8A.
right? And that's not this,
Yes, it is.
but it doesn't say by neglect, it just says demolition.
No, there's demolition by neglect reference in here.
But they're two different ordinances.
No,
Yes, they are.
I made two different ones.
Yes, because demolition by neglect is brand new. The demolition ordinance has been in effect, but we were updating it. So it's two different ordinances.
I'm working on demolition by neglect.
Okay, but that doesn't say this. This just says demolition.
I think the clarification is a section of the code. So the demolition by neglect would be a section of the code that I'm meant to. And there's. yes, yes,
Then
all of it.
the
Hang
I
on
got
a second. We want to dig into this now, or we want to wait till we get to 8A?
no, I think because there's other points on the agenda we need to address too.
Right, so
So we need to be clear about what A is. And so because this says it's only demolition by neglect, but what this is saying is pertaining to demolition for historical structures. So I think we need to be clear that the titles match. Otherwise, it's gonna get
You want the
confusing going forward.
okay, it's demolition by neglect is what it boils down to.
But that's not what this says. And if this is what is in the code and you're taking it from the code, then
No, this is not taking it from the code. This is gonna be added to the code.
Yeah, so the new section would be added to the code.
This is.
so then we need to change this title on this document.
Yeah,
If necessary.
it's going to be a demolition by neglect, ordinance that is in addition to the existing county.
Okay, then this would say pertaining to building demolition by neglect for historical, so that needs to be,
We need to, I wanted to distribute this stuff out under item 2, then we go back to item 3, and then eventually we get to 8A, and we can do this.
Okay.
Well, just identify the agenda now, clarify the agenda now, and when you get into that workshop item, you can flesh on that.
Okay,
okay,
so the point of all of this is that we're gonna be discussing this in 8A, and we can discuss any confusion or clarification or updates that need to be made. If we need to retroactively go back and adjust the agenda once we go through those steps, I think that we could probably go ahead and do that for record purposes.
okay, because I had some other comments on the agenda.
Go right ahead.
Okay. So, let's see. So on 8B, the delisting of properties, for clarity purposes, rather than listing all of them just as 8B, I think it should say 8B1, 8B2, 8B3, and the staff report, I didn't know if that had anything to do with the delistings or not, so I went on the county website to print it out and saw that it did. So I think that should be A4 for clarity. You lost me.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm confused.
Okay, so you're looking at 8B, delisting of the, K. So then it says item AB, item AB, item AB, and item AB.
What are you?
Where is this?
Okay.
But that doesn't look at it, you know.
Well, this is what I printed off the website Sunday.
Oh,
That's
this
what
is-
was on the website on Sunday.
If that was on the website, that's different than what Matthew had emailed out, so that might be.
I didn't see the email with the packet. I did get something that said combined.
Well, I
but
can
didn't
see,
open
it
All I
doesn't-
got was the
There was a
source
That's
code.
what she said.
Yeah,
I read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what she has. And that's what the website shows. Well, that's interesting. Ah, because I didn't set it up.
So then I guess I need a new agenda.
I think it might be, I think it might be associated with the linking. So in other words, these were broken down, so you could
Right.
click here.
It is actually the way you want it.
Yeah, now that I look at
It is
this one,
exactly what you're asking.
but on the website it wasn't.
So so the reason that was set up like this on the website is so
So you
that
see the issue.
we have DPR forms for each of these.
Right.
And so in order to get to that DPR form, you just click on that, and take you straight to that DPR form. And then the next item you see,
Right.
click on that. So that's why it's.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, so, and that's what I did. I clicked, I said, oh, all right, I already know those
Okay.
PPR. So I didn't
Okay.
print them out. But yeah, this is what I was looking at.
Okay.
Let me then continue on, because there was a couple. So, and then also the other thing was.
Yeah, I'll ask you a question.
Sure.
So what we have compared to what you have, this is how you, were
Yes, yeah, so then,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we're pretty coordinated, actually. Exactly for what, right here.
yeah. So, let's see. There are 3 goals that have been pulled out and put on the agenda. So I think on the agenda, they need to be designated that they are goals. Because they won't be discussed now under the goal agenda item. They're being discussed separately. So that is, 9B. The Mills Act,
Okay.
which is number goal 15.
Can I, before you go on, can I ask you, it's still a goal,
Yes,
but it's also a separate agenda item. that
Yes.
needs to be discussed. So why?
Matthew wanted to discuss them separately.
But what needs to be updated? Why can't they be on goal? Why can't?
I mean, it'll stay on both.
Yeah, they'll stay on
Just that
both.
when
I'll
we get the
take,
goals, we won't be talking about it.
So when we get to the goals, we can just say that's already been discussed.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
but I think for somebody coming in though and looking at this, this lets them know that if they are looking for this specific information, that it was discussed more in detail over here and not there.
Okay,
So on 9B, that should be goal number 15, identified, just a little, parentheses, goal number 15.
Okay.
And, website update, oh,
It's all right, we'll figure it out once we get there.
so that's also a goal.
okay.
And actually to me, so, I did know the difference between 9D and 9E. Because remember we discussed about website and the links. But, regarding ease of access, inventory updates, I didn't know if that was related to the website or not. But website update is goal, what goal is that? I've got it.
Figure that out.
And, what was the other one?
So there are 4 of them in section 9.
There was, oh, and the very first one, number A, that is goal number 3B,
9A is 3B,
888.
8A is 3B,
Mm-hmm.
goal 3B.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing, the Mills Act, for this meeting, I didn't think it should be under old business. Because we closed goal number 5, we are now entering a new phase and have a new goal. So it seemed for this meeting, it should be new business, because we're learning new information on the process and how it will be implemented and the status of how that goes. And then for our meeting next year, it will then fall back under old business.
So you wanna move item 9B to item 8
E.
Yes. And I think that's at the end of my comments.
Okay, I have one very easy modification that falls under item 10. The first dot, I wonder if we shouldn't also assign letters to those as well instead of just dots, because those are two separate items.
10A
Sure.
and 10B.
Yeah, so under 10A.
11A.
Right?
If you're gonna do dots under ten
Oh.
to 10A and 10B, then you're gonna take a dot from 11 and make that 11A.
Oh, yeah, that as well. Okay, good. Fair. My modifications to item 10A, real easy. This was a site visit that was done by myself and ex-HRC Commissioner Swift. Matthew, the staff liaison, was attempting to make it, but could not, so we just got to remove you from being present.
Sure.
Anything else that needs to be modified? Might have been the longest agenda modification we've had. But that's okay, we want to make sure we get it right, so that's not a problem. Okay, if there are no other modifications or items of discussion, can I get a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Can I just make one comment? And I don't know if it matters, obviously, in the first time here, so
Yeah.
pardon my ignorance. This is item 3, this is page 3, and has the date, Monday, June 9th,
Oh, those are our minutes from last week.
from last.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that'll be the next item that we're gonna go through, so, very, I got a motion from you for, okay.
And I second.
All in favor, we'll just go, start with Jim,
Yes.
Aye.
okay. Thank you for that, item 3, the approval of the minutes. So I'm assuming we all had an opportunity to read through them and review them. And Jim, did you have a comment on that, or was that just referring to the day you just? Okay, okay. Did anybody have any updates or discussion items for the previous meeting minutes?
Let me just add that I believe that our member cannot express a vote on something.
Correct. He was on present. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Yes, thank you. Good morning.
My name is Becky Steinberg. And I'm Council Secretary. Thank you. I remember speaking, I think it was during public communication regarding at the June 9th meeting regarding the proposed delisting of the Redmond Hero Homes. Are you looking at number
You
5?
did, you did, I remember you.
Yes, number 5.
Oh, you know what? No, I'm sorry, the public communications, you, that was an agenda item, that wasn't a, public communications item, you remember you'd come in late, and we'd already had that section, and, yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you,
mhm,
thank
exactly.
you.
Yeah.
All right,
No problem.
great. Well, so yeah, you're in 9B. I'm sorry, 8B. 8B, yeah. Well, that that had to do with the Aptos Village Farmhouse.
Yeah, that was,
8B. Oh, I spoke about the listing of the Redmond Hero Farmhouse. And you were kind enough to move that up when you took a break. I remember now, and you took a break and you were kind enough to move that item up for me so that I could speak. So where did that happen?
so it was under 9B, the brief discussion of delisting Redmond here at our house, being presented to the Board of Supervisors on August 5th.
Yes,
We could update that and say that we had a public comment.
Yeah.
don't know how much detail we go into when listing this information, but we can say that we had a comment from the public, expressing concern, and we had recommended, going to the Board of Supervisors meeting to express those concerns. Members are satisfactory?
That's great, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
You can see.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, with those updates, we got a motion from Lucia, a second from, sorry,
Linda.
Commissioner Orlando, and a second from Commissioner Phillips. And just a reminder, Commissioner Evans is not allowed to vote on this one, so let's just go around and take a vote to approve the minutes.
I motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Terry?
We already made the motion in the second, we're just
Oh.
voting ayes. or
Hi,
noes.
sorry.
So I take it, aye,
Hi,
okay, thank you.
sorry.
Okay.
Keeping each other on track here.
Yeah, we're good.
This is a small weird one, though. I believe that the protocol for county commissions is that you're supposed to name each person, not say unanimous. For like minutes and things like that, you're supposed to name each commissioner so that they see how the districts responded on an issue.
Like in the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. We will do that. Let's vote. Yeah, I think we did that on the minutes, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Item 4, declaration of ex parte communications. Don't believe we have any. Item 5, public communications. This is where members of the public may speak on items not on this agenda. We do have a member of the public here.
Thank you.
Just a reminder that we allot for 3 minutes of speaking time.
Very good, thank you. I appreciate the time. My name is Becky Steinbruner, is in rural Aptos and have been coming to good commission meetings. Thank you all for your public service here. I note that what is not on the agenda, if I'm missing it, is a report on the Bayview Hotel that usually is on the agenda, and it is, to me, something to really be watchful of. Unfortunately, I have to leave for another meeting here in a moment, but I just want to ask on the agenda of today, old business item 9G. It's unclear to me what item 7D, item of interest is, a reminder to remain vigilant. I don't understand that, and I don't see how it correlates with anything in today's packet. So a brief explanation of that would be very helpful. I'm concerned about the,
Yeah.
and so I hope that it stays on the agenda. And I also am very concerned about the listing of the revenue here. That was not secret exempt. It's not, and that is not your purview, it's the county board of supervisors purview and staff. But I testified and held up the PhD thesis by Jacob Stone, and I never saw that in your packets. The board was very dismissive, and that was really hard for me, even though there were people that came from Salinas to support the second expedient. Is there a problem?
No.
All right, thank you. Even though there was, these other people were supporting a second opinion on the structural analysis of the house, there was a woman there that begged for more time because she was connected with a large civic group that she felt confident would support financial funding. And I have filed a lawsuit because this is so wrong, and I don't like doing that. But it is not secret exempt. I would bet there are roosting bats in that house. And there has been no environmental analysis. I would bet there could be an asbestos in that house. There was no environmental analysis. And it still bothers me greatly that your commission accepted a county building inspector just walking around the perimeter and saying it's not happening.
I apologize, that's the 3 minutes
Sorry,
up and
thank you.
that,
My
item
last
is-
request is the blue plaque, status of the blue plaque. The lady in Rio de Mar has not been contacted, so.
From the blue flag, okay, well, that's a separate.
I know, but, you often
Yeah.
speak about it here. so,
Yeah.
There's something, missing in that.
That is odd.
Process.
I may contact you offline, so I
Okay.
can tell you about that.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, and I will point out that the delisting of the Redmond Hera Horror House is on the agenda under old business.
Okay,
I allow you to speak because I know that you do need to go on to another meeting.
Thank
Normally,
you.
we would not allow that in this
Thank you.
section. And then I will also say that the report on the Bayview, we are paying very close attention to it. There's really no new news besides the fact that it's still on the market. It's being shown to potential buyers. If there's anything that does need to be discussed, it would definitely be. But yeah, believe me, I'm keeping a very close eye on it.
thank you very much. And I appreciate all that you're keeping an eye on, including the Orano House. So thank you all for your service. I'm sorry I do have to go,
No
and
problem.
I appreciate all of your comments.
Yeah, thanks for being here today. Okay, moving on to item 6, we've got consent items. I don't believe we have any today. Item 7, public hearing items. No public hearing items on the agenda. And moving right along to new business. Item 8A, and here's where we get into it. Let's iron out these details here. The demolition by neglect ordinance. This was on the agenda as a verbal update only. I'm not ready to move forward with anything yet, but I do believe there is some potential
And then
confusion.
last Friday, I went to the website, as requested by the planning supervisor. Go to the website and change it from just a verbal update only to a workshop.
Oh,
So it's gonna be verbal update with a workshop,
okay.
and we'll try and be as succinct as possible. And one thing, and since it's my bailiwick, I'll just start and tell you the general picture of what's going on here. So what I've submitted to you this morning, there's 2 sections. There's the ordinance, and then behind that is demolition by neglect ordinance examples. There's no page number. And this, I have to tell you, this computer or the printer printed out double-sided in such an odd way.
Yeah.
Everything else I did this morning printed the normal way, but for this, for some reason, the printer decided to print it this way.
See, now I was thinking that was my printer.
But it still worked.
I don't see anything unusual.
That goes upside down. So, this is the first demolition by neglect ordinance that we're going to put through the county. And, there's a staff report, which you don't have. There's a resolution, which you don't have. And so all you have before you right now is the ordinance, and that's what we're gonna talk about. And the ordinance plus the demolition by neglect ordinance examples from Venetia and Danville and Los Gatos, and et cetera, et cetera.
Can you be sure to include just a very quick description of what demolition by neglect is, so that our new commissioner will have.
Yes, yes. So, trying to be as succinct as possible with this. So it's in response to building owners, property owners who don't put money into their maintenance of their buildings. And those buildings are our concern, because they're the ones we're concerned with are the NR 1 through NR 5 properties, National Register 1 through 5. And that's a county designation that we have. Keep in mind that there's a separate designation for anything that goes to the federal level, like Bayview Hotel and Redmond Hero Hire House, both got national recognition. But everything else in the county is NR 1 through 5. So our concern is that we have historic structures that a property owner doesn't care about and doesn't want to spend the money to maintain it. So this ordinance puts power into the hands of the county to try and do something about it. And, basically, that's what it's about.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
How do you become designated? Does the property owner have to request, or could that designation be imposed?
I have never experienced imposing something on a property. I suppose it's possible that something could be imposed, but I think most of these properties were, willing property owners. Most of these properties that were included in the inventory were willing property owners.
There's never been an instance,
Nobody's,
somebody,
There are
Yeah.
historic properties that, we have approached the families and say, hey, this really should be on the historic inventory list, either locally and potentially even nationally. And there are certain concerns, not that they don't care about the historic, aspect or maintaining it. One family in particular did a wonderful job maintaining their historic property, but they will not list it on the inventory because of
The limitations imposed on them by the listing.
yeah. So we can't really force them to do it.
But on the other hand, because of the concern that most of our, historic buildings, is there any past about 1950 or 60, any newer than that? So our concern is that there's been a lot of buildings that now should be on the list from the 80s, 90s, whatever. And so we created a watch list. And so if there's buildings that we feel does fit one of the criteria and should be flagged, it's put on the watch list. And sometimes I'll say, because I don't know about it, don't talk to the owners. Because it has to then be researched and qualified, I guess, to go on to the inventory list. So they're not there yet. But the point is, until there is time, money, manpower to be able to do that research, if the owner were to come in and say, I want to add a second story onto my house, comes into the planning department, they will then have a red flag and say, wait a minute, this is a potentially historic structure. And we need to take a second look with that in mind.
And that's a checklist that the planning department follows, regardless of whether that building is done on its own list. That's part of the procedures to check.
And the idea of our implementing the Mills Act, which is a tax credit for improvements that people put into their historically listed buildings, is to create an incentive. The secondary incentive is that people want to have their property listed because there is a socioeconomic gain for them. It's a recognition of their property, which is a pride thing, and an economic thing. The property is likely worth more money if it's got a historic listing. But along with that listing comes the responsibility to maintain it. The Mills Act is now in there as a tool to maintain it, but the balance to that has to be the watchdog aspect, which becomes the demolition by neglect, becomes the watchdog aspect, keeping people maintaining their properties.
as I was reading this, but if I have a property and I'm sort of on the edge financially, I may want it to be designated, but I know I can't afford it. So then, is there help in that? Would the person be in violation? If they simply couldn't afford to?
No, you're not violation measure.
Okay.
However, one might seek special funding. There likely are grants, things available.
And the Mills Act is part of that.
Yes.
But they're just implementing, it's just being implemented now, where a property owner could conceivably qualify for property tax breaks for a certain period of time to help them maintain their property. And another thing, Matthew, make sure I have this correct. When your property is listed, depending on your structure, you qualify for using the historic building code to make modifications on repairs to your property. They're a little bit different from the building code that everybody else has to follow. Take historic structures into account.
So what would the changing ordinance do?
This would give power to the county to step in and, exact fines or spend the money to fix a roof. Or spend the money to fix a foundation. Slap a lien on the property, and then the county would have its payback next year or 10 years down the road or something like that.
So there would be a violation.
The idea is that it wouldn't get to the point of what the Redmond House is. It would have stopped, it would catch the,
That's,
where the upkeep, the maintenance, repairs, whatever needed to be done would be at a level that could be done and bring it back up.
When you have a historic property, if you purchase one or designate one, you're essentially agreeing to maintain that property. And this is kind of like our way of coming in and saying, oh, by the way, you have not been maintaining your property, and if we just ignore it, then it's gonna deteriorate to a point where you're gonna have to demo that property, hence demolition by neglect. The owner is neglecting the property to the point of where it needs to be demolished. Having the Redmond area. All right, that's what we're trying to avoid with properties like the baby.
As I was reading this, I thought, okay, I understand that if I'm purchasing the property, it's already designated. as the
Yeah.
property. But if I have a property that then becomes designated, and in this case, it would be designated against not necessarily my will, but my ability to follow the ordinance. Then I might be able to- then it seems if there's any protection for that particular instance.
Yeah, if your property isn't listed, we can't impose that on you, and you would not be subject to this demolition by neglect. It would still, under your property, your rules, basically. And if you wanted to let it deteriorate, that's within your right. It would be unfortunate, but there's nothing we can really do.
So what occurred with Redmond is that the group that was trying to save formed a nonprofit corporation in 2004. In 2006, they filed all the paperwork to have it get the historical designation, thinking that the designation would rally people to raise funds. That didn't work. Okay, what would have worked is if this demolition by neglect ordinance was in place then, the county could have gone to the owner and said, the place is falling apart, and you are required to fix it because it has the historical designation. But that wasn't in place, so they let it rot.
but we did have demolition. We do have an ordinance that's been on the books for many years, but is not used.
Right.
To save these structures. So this is very specific to historic structures. What we have on the books now, and we've had for a few years, is the demolition issue or the deterioration issue. I forget the ordinance is still.
Just to make sure we're on track, I just want to make sure we're moving along with. I don't want to get too far.
Yeah.
off.
Right. They're still on 8A. Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
So I just wanted to tell you that the county does have a method to deal with people who have structures, who have houses or commercial buildings that are not historically listed. And the county can go in there and say, look, your building is rotting, your foundation's slumping, your roof has a big hole in it. The county has an avenue to take care of those issues. This is strictly limited, this being this ordinance, strictly limited to the historic structures.
Are already designated.
Yeah.
And the work that would be required may be different work because it's a historical designated.
So Matthew.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about 8A, or did we, read that just the fact that we're gonna have a workshop, or explain that again? I'm not-
This is an opportunity for you to comment on this, other than me just presenting orally. This is
Okay,
an opportunity for you to ask questions about.
This is the workshop.
This is the workshop.
So
got it.
I have to say it was really helpful that you included the ordinances that the other municipalities have.
Yeah.
And in the comment in there, I found it really helpful. to see, A, that other places have this issue, already done, but I have to say, I looked through the draft, but I didn't try to really understand everything.
Yeah,
There were definitely some pieces where.
we're gonna polish it up some more.
It's pretty strong and it's, it's the right thing to do. If you wanna keep your building in good shape, you have to do all those things. Any one of us isn't done, that begins the deterioration processes.
So if you look on page 6 of the ordinance and look at item C. Well, let's look at B on page 6 and B and C and D. B reads, the enforcing officer of the county, I shall give notice by certified or registered mail of specific instances of a failure to maintain or repair an historic structure. The owner or person in charge of the historic structure shall have 60 days. Those days can be modified, by the way. This is just a preliminary ordinance. Shall have 60 days to remedy such violations, provided that the enforcing officer, upon request by property owner or property manager, may allow an extension of up to 60 additional days to remedy such violations, subject to a written hard copy or by mail request for the 60 additional days. If the extension request is received by the enforcing officer within 5 business days of the end of the 60-day period. Again, 60 days are my time frame. It could be 50, it could be 90, whatever. If a property owner, this is reading paragraph C, if a property owner has been requested to maintain the property but refuses to do so, this ordinance allows the planning director to arrange for necessary repairs and charge expenses to the owner. In the event the correction action specified in the aforementioned notice by certified registered mail for section blah, 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 is not instituted within the time allotted, the planning director may institute, perform, and complete the necessary remedial work to prevent deterioration in the expenses incurred by the county for such work, such as administration, labor, and materials, should be a lien against the property and draw interest at the highest legal rate.
Now, is that legal?
The highest legal rate. The amount to be amortized over a period of 10 years, subject to a public sale if there's a default in payment.
So is it legal for the county to say, okay, you're not, for example, say the wood on the outside of the house is peeling, is rotting, and so on, and starting to get, I don't know, mold, that the county comes in and says, okay, you've had your 60, 90 days, we've given you extension, you're still not doing it, and this is, well, I've been, applying for a loan, I've been applying for a grant, whatever, to get the funding to do it, I haven't been able to, and they say, well, then we're gonna come and do it and put a lien on your house. Now, so he says, well, I'm gonna sue you because you're coming in on your, questioning this. I'm just wondering, did it go by the legal department? That was, I think, that was one of the things.
County council.
We would ask Andy all the time, has it been by county council?
This has not been by county council,
Okay.
so I'm using templates from other jurisdictions.
Okay. So that would be, I guess, one thing as we move forward, is to make
That
sure.
would be an element.
This is a workshop.
Okay,
So you get an idea of what's going on
So
here.
you can get further input before you present. it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think that would be a concern, definitely, like what the legal standing is, and then on top of that, our committee is looking at the exterior of the building, but in order to perform some repairs, you have to get into the building.
Right.
That's.
Right. Well, there's that issue of what happens inside the structure that causes the exterior of the structure to deteriorate.
I was so glad that you gave us these, and I saw that because we have always emphasized outside, exterior.
Right.
And then the points that they were making, it's like, yes, of course, we do have to be aware of the inside, the interior with frame and the foundation and such. So I really appreciated that, and I thought absolutely we need to start including those areas too.
So this ordinance, number one, it has to go through legal. And I'm gonna back up. And over the last year, 2 years, we've been talking about demolition by neglect. So here we are, September 2025, on our initial draft, round one. It hasn't gone to the hands. And then it's gotta deal with political issues. How do people interpret this? We think that these black helicopters are gonna fly overhead and people are gonna repel out of black helicopters and bust into people's houses. Let's see what's going on. I don't think so, but there's
With masks.
with masks.
With math,
That's right.
yes.
And the point I'm making is that there's a political dimension to this. And I'm not dealing with that right now, but I will be over the next few months as this thing gets ironed out. I don't wanna be, writing an ordinance that is too broad and overreaches. But on the other hand, I don't wanna be writing an ordinance that has no enforcement value. It's just a waste of my time, your time, and everybody's time.
I think this is a great draft. I mean, there's a lot. I did have a question about the 60 days. Did that come from, other counties? Is that a similar timeframe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, is refuses the same as isn't able to?
Mhm.
That's a good question. No, it's not. I don't think so. If you're strapped for cash, you can't maintain the structure, then I'm hoping that there would be some, pathway for that property owner to acquire the funds to fix the chimney and the roof.
Yeah, that's what I was.
The grant money is difficult to get hold of. I processed earlier this year, on behalf of our historic inventory property owners at NR 1, 2, and 3, something it was. That had access to some amount of money out of Sacramento. I don't know who received it locally. I sent it out to everybody on the NR 1, NR 2, and 3 list that we have. And I didn't hear back from anybody. I had a couple of questions, I'm sorry. I had a couple of questions from people. Whether or not they ran with it, I don't know.
That brings a question into my mind. Do we, i.e., I guess, planning department, the county, want to or should be helping homeowners that are just regular people and have never in their life dealt with a grant? How to apply to it, who offers them, if they have a NR1, like they do, then they would certainly, there are, places that hand out grants to a national registered property, then you can look at the state level and California preservation, but they have no idea where to go, how to start, how to fill it out. Would we be, and I don't know, want to or should we get involved with helping? Or having a way of pointing, giving them some ideas?
So there actually are a lot of resources out there for grant writing. Already has resources for people to write, like how to write a grant. So I don't know if the state actually has information about how to.
When this question has come up, it's come up a couple of times, people just email me asking about it, and I always refer them to the community foundation because they have the most incredible
To
resources.
start with, yeah.
Grants that are already available. You don't have to write your own grant. These are grants that are already in existence, and you can, it's all on a computer, and you can type in historic, California. I mean, you can filter by so many different things, and there could already be a grant in existence. And so, and if not, they are the most friendly and helpful people, and they have always been, way more about that than I do. So it's always been like, well, you need help getting a grant, go to the community foundation. That's how the Outhouse History Museum came through.
I'm just wondering if it gets to this point and we approach the county, the county, ends up approaching the homeowner and saying, your property is starting to get to a level of disrepair that it needs to get turned around now. Would we want to have a page a handout to give them and say, if you need some financial help,
Yeah.
here are
Resources.
resources to go to, and at the top, Community Foundation.
When we get there, then we pass out the information to that person.
Okay, so we have that available, and that would be part of the process.
Yeah, and at the beginning of this year, I think it was OHP, Office of Historic Planning Preservation, sent me the notice of availability of a grant program for those property owners in R1 and R2 and R3. And so I reached out to all 50 or 60 of them and sent them a letters and gave them the internet website link. And then I offered my services to assist with the application process, and nobody took me up on it. But if it happens again, I'll do it again.
Yeah, no.
Your protocol requirement.
Yeah, I just think we need to have a carrot with the stick.
As I look at this, friends, as I look at this, up through, item E is most.
Page 5.
Yeah, through the end of item E, which would be ending on page 7 with item F, is the last item, small letter F, of item E. As we move into designated F, G, H, I, J, and K, those seem to be the elements, and maybe L and M as well. Those are the elements that involve commission. Up to E, it's not about a commission, and we have very little input on how the planning department would handle it. That's their business. But starting with item F, this is where I think we should be paying careful attention, because this is where we are making our commitments of what we're going to do, how we're going to perform. So as the performers, may I suggest we study what we're agreeing to?
Yeah, like I said, I think this is a great first draft, and it's been a long time coming, and this isn't like we're sending this to approval after the meeting's over today, so let's take more time to review it,
Yeah.
and we can, discuss it again,
Come back next week.
I think so. I mean, is there a time frame that you want to push this through? Can we push it through to the next meeting for a second,
I was hoping to get this thing polished by today, but.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
So what else do you need from us? Do you focus?
If you have any comments that you want to do, maybe, did I send you an electronic copy of this?
Yes.
Turn on your comments button and maybe you can throw in, strikeouts and underlines. Or,
Well, I guess I was like the Barry, well, not like Barry, but getting in with F on seemed kind of like a left-hand turn from the previous. Where it is more of a code kind of, with the whereas and the section codes and all that. And suddenly you seem to come really focused down to commission and demolition by neglect, and we're talking about sign approval. That to me seemed like kind of a jarring
a disconnect.
left turn.
Okay.
A little too nitpicky to be under a demolition by neglect, put a lien on their property if they don't do what they need to do.
Sure. Okay.
Question that I had was on page 7 of J.
Okay.
The historic resource preservation plan. I wasn't sure what that was.
Historic Resources Commission action on page 7, letter J.
Yeah,
It says, following a public hearing on an application for historic resources commission, the historic resources commission may approve a historic resource preservation plan or historic documentation report. But I don't know what that is. That's a,
yeah, I don't think a preservation plan, that doesn't sound familiar to me. Documentation report, I mean, we go through like architect specs.
yeah, so it continues on page 8 of items 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I think those are the elements of it. I just Is this a new thing, this historic resource preservation plan? We have,
I have never worked with you guys with historic preservation plan before.
Does it seem familiar to you, Barry?
And if it's not relevant, I'm gonna dig into this some more. If it's not relevant to the primary purpose, then we jettison it.
Or maybe it needs to fall under more the commission. You know, responsibilities, and whatever,
yeah, I mean, I
Regarding
don't know
just-
how in the weeds we need
exactly.
on this, it may be that it's, yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's not clear.
Okay. I think the intention for the use of the word plan here is a individual small plan to move forward with the given project. Okay, and with the given application. You've got the application and then we're talking about their plan to move forward procedurally after the application is approved.
To restore a structure.
Right, it's not a county plan, it's a project plan, so maybe it's just a couple of words would clarify what this intention is.
Or like a paragraph from
Yeah.
the property owner saying, we're gonna replace the roof. And as the commission, we would say, great, they're gonna replace the
I
roof.
think
And that's the
that's what
plan.
I'm talking
Thank you.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's the plan.
Yeah, that's what, it's not a commission plan, it's a individual go forward plan for that project.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah, when we
But
get
if
it,
it's confusing, you do need to clarify.
That's right, and it is confusing because we're asking the questions right now.
and when an owner would come in, and I think you two were on when we had that one house where she wanted to do, was it a bridge or something?
On 8th Avenue,
And
connect the two buildings, right?
And we went through all of it, we looked at the specs, and then at the end, we make our recommendation and make a motion and vote on that.
Right.
Because, and that might be the preservation plan,
That's precisely right.
to go
For
before the
that,
supervisor.
that's exactly right.
Yeah,
It was Linda and I were, we were the junior computers. And it was a historic building on 8th Avenue, in the Harbor District, that, there had been two individual small houses that were, the whole property had a historic designation. Two individual houses were sweet as could be, but they had joined them with this really crappy atrium. Now there was a new owner. The new owner is going, let me get rid of the crappy atrium and do it right, make it compatible with the building design. So we were given it was like a gift that came to the commission. We had to approve it. It's like, we're rallying. Yes, this is exactly what we want people to be doing. Now, if they wanted an orange banister on that connection, we would have had to say no to that because orange doesn't design. But it was a breeze and it was really nice. So they had a small plan for what they wanted to do. And I think that's what we're talking about.
I just want to remind, we got a full docket today.
Yeah.
This is a really important document. I
Yeah.
don't want to rush through it, but I also, don't want to kick the can down the road until our February meeting, assuming that we meet in February. Is this something that, Matthew, that you think that maybe we should consider having a special meeting to
It's
revisit
possible.
before the end of the year?
Possible, yeah,
Yeah, it's possibly something in November.
yeah.
cause I could see a whole meeting on just this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But we
Yeah.
could likely do it in an hour.
Yeah, I don't think it'll take 4 hours to do it, but I think maybe having a special meeting called, this will give us more time to process it, send you some feedback, you can take the updates, and then we can just come back, do a final review, and it's gonna be on your way.
There's a secondary purpose that would also happen, and that is we've been talking about the potential of a special meeting because our workload is greater than a 3-meeting workload. So let's show them that we need the 4th meeting this year.
Okay.
This maybe mean we will.
Leaning towards it.
Because I wanted to have a comment if I thought it's not gonna be held over, if you're looking at policies right now.
Oh, go right ahead.
It's my initial question, going back to refuses, that there's an assumption here that any reason not to have done it, not to maintain it, is a refusal. And so you might ask county council about the language.
Yes,
Yeah,
So the inability is not refusal.
that's true,
Mhm, yeah.
Very important.
And we
Yeah.
wouldn't want us to get sued by the party because we're preventing them, we're asking them something unreasonable.
But I think there were probably, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think if the owner is showing good intent, I think we would be willing to work with them and say,
Yeah.
okay. Let's hear some resources. As
Yeah,
long as they're showing intent, I mean, we're really just trying to avoid demolition by neglect. Someone who just will not make
And
improvement.
that's what I think's in this meet between F and L.
Yeah.
I think that's our actual inertia of how we're gonna deal with it.
yeah,
Because our goal is to preserve this property. We don't want to punish people. We want to do whatever we can to help the owners preserve their properties. And so if they need a little bit extra time, I would have no problem giving them an extension or helping them along the way, so. But yeah, I think inability or refusal are two very different terms and should be very different.
take B,
8B, delisting of the following from the county's historic name.
that's right, there's actually 4 of them, and I inadvertently left out this one, but then I passed it out at the beginning of this meeting. This is the Santa
And,
Cruz,
yeah,
and it
yeah.
used to be called the Stardust. Hotel. I think it was Stardust. So. Item 8B is about delisting 4 properties. And as I stated in my staff report, there's the Alba School, the Seabreeze Tavern, both of them are gone, both of them suffered fire. Discovery Land Preschool in Live Oak was demolished 10 years plus. And then there's Santa Cruz Inn Motel, which is an R6 property. And because it's an R6 property, our lowest ranking, it doesn't have a zoning designation that goes with it. So if your property is NR1 through NR5, your property will also be zoned -L, which is a combining district nomenclature, and -L means historic landmark. However, again, if it's an NR6 property, you don't have that designation on your property. You don't have a historic landmark zoning designation.
Well, if any of you know the building at the Santa Cruz Inn, you sure we should take that story.
And
Yeah.
that's what a B is about. And so I'm asking you guys review the staff report and findings, direct staff to carry forward the your recommendation to delist the school, the Seabreeze, Discovery Land Christian Preschool, and I left out my
Well, the buildings that have burnt down, obviously,
Yeah.
I think that's a no-brainer right there.
You were burned, you were shot. Which one is that?
So-
Alba School. Now, I can report on Alba that, they're wanting to make that into, I think, a park.
Yeah.
And they're, gonna approach the clampers about getting a plaque put on the site. So, it was, the school burned down in the CCU fire. It's out of Ben Lomond and it's all the way almost to Felton Empire at the top.
So because it's no longer in existence, we can remove it from the county inventory. I think it's wonderful. Get a plaque put up. That's the best that can be done at this point in time.
Right.
And they have a barbecue there
The
every year.
Seabreeze Tavern is the same situation.
I would suggest to you that when we designated the Seabreeze, this commission voted that there would be, at the site, rebuilt, that there would be a remembrance. Yeah, that would, actually, it was proposed that there was a miniature of the original, Rodolfo Castro Hotel. That's what, that building was, the Rodolfo Castro Hotel in 1928. The Rafael Castro Hotel, that was the name of that building.
In the Seabreeze?
Yeah,
Yes,
The Rafael Castro Hotel?
yes, was the Seabreeze.
in Rio.
No.
Vermont.
Oh.
It was never a hotel. The Seabreeze Tavern was never a hotel. The hotel was on the side of the hill where the apartment complexes are. The hotel on up there.
We have some confusing information in our history then. that needs to
We
be
do.
suspended.
There's
Because,
probably a lot.
the former commission went with that presumption.
On the Seabreeze.
Yeah, and we thought that that was the reason that it had the historic designation, because it got it in it got it because of the part of the hotel. That's what we were presuming was accurate, and our information came from,
It has it in the
Andy, who
DPR.
was our,
It doesn't say that, I don't have
It
a
has
copy.
it in the DPR, it's in your. packet.
Has what?
That it was the Rafael Castro Hotel.
the DPR, I believe that because the DPR may be wrong, but I'm not talking off the top of my head, it's in the DPR.
Well, we know that a lot of the DPRs are incorrect
Yeah,
and
and we know that what.
don't have
We know that
sufficient.
the person who implemented did it quick and dirty. to
Yeah.
get this up and
Yeah.
running.
No,
That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It was in the DPR.
I'm certain it was built as an office building, first and foremost, for the development of the Real Del Mar area in the 1920s.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, that's why we have used the.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think, yeah.
That's enhanced
So,
our knowledge.
so this brings up something interesting. So, yeah, that's the thing. So it's still gone. So if we're delisting it, do we need to update it first to delist it? Or do we just delist it and say,
Update the DPR first?
yeah,
No,
okay.
no.
So then the
Delist.
point is moot because the building is gone.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter how it
I
ended
mean,
up.
we'll keep it in our records.
Does that mean that there's longer yard?
No.
Or that there's a whole DPR to.
Well, on the other hand, that property is still there and, it being the empty lot,
Yeah,
and correct me if I'm wrong, Barry, but if I remember right, the owner said that they wanted to rebuild,
Yes.
and they wanted it to be, wasn't it, look very similar,
Yes,
it's
they
not?
did. Yes, they were well intended. We're
Yeah.
talking about the second owner, the current owner.
Yes,
The property changed hands twice really fast.
during a couple fires.
Right after the fire, the guy bought the property.
And so I would like to make a motion that we get an update on what's happening to that property.
yeah.
Because the owner, last I heard, was living in San Diego. He was not local at all. I think both of
I can
those.
tell you what's happening with the property, based on what comes in through the front
Yeah,
door.
yeah, right. Plans.
Based on what comes through the front door here, nothing's happening.
So I think a phone call needs to be made by whoever does that in the county to say, it's been sitting empty for quite some time now, what, a couple of years at least?
I believe, did it burn in, was it 21?
21, it demolished in 21 and.
Yeah, burned in 20.
Yeah,
Well, isn't the issue is getting approval to build in a flood zone? I mean, isn't that?
I have no
You
idea.
guys,
I
you
think
guys,
that's where we.
you guys are
think
going,
there's-
you're going off tangent right now.
Yeah.
All we're dealing with is a delisting for a building
Yeah.
that no longer exists, and
Right.
the property that's sitting.
So going back to my original question, do we need to update the DPR for historical
No.
purposes?
No,
Okay.
and we know the building's gone.
Well, then delist it.
Yeah.
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 Would you, honor a motion? I move that we delist the 4 currently discussed properties.
Well, we're not done discussing.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah, no.
then I'll remove
Well,
my.
You can make a motion.
Yeah.
All day long.
There's more to talk about.
I don't need it to be, let's not waste time voting it down if we're talking about.
I appreciate the fact you're trying to speed the meeting along, because I need to, but let's do it when we need to, so.
Well, but I still would like to get an update on what the property owner
I'll
is
give it-
planning to do. What is the timeline? If it's problems with our planning commission that are planning department, then we need to know that.
Okay.
And if it's on his end where he's dragging his feet,
But
then,
what does it matter? It's his-
Right.
Okay, hang on. Jim had a question. Linda, I take your point, except that it's not pertinent to the matter at hand, but yes, it would be great to have an update. I'm sorry, Jim.
Part of my ignorance, again, but as I understand this, property cannot be designated as historical without the owner's approval.
Correct.
Can it be delisted without the owner's approval?
Question. Yes, it can. Yeah, because the owner asks for the listing, but he's not a voting member to determine the listing. It's determined by, this group. So, or it's proposed by this.
Our inventory is using a cliche, we live in Mountain.
Yeah.
So places burn down or they get washed out by a flood or whatever, and it's on an inventory, well, no longer should be on the.
If there's no building, the owner of the property has nothing to say about the listing of what used to be
There
there.
is a bill. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
can it be
it can be.
delisted, it can be
Oh, yeah.
delisted without the owner's approval. Okay.
So I want to go back to one of my earlier questions before we got sidetracked here. So for the buildings that burnt down, those are an easy
Yeah.
delisting decision. I'm curious about this motel. What was the reason for adding it to the inventory in the first place, and why are we now deciding to delist it? Did the current owner request that it be delisted for some reason, or are we just going through and saying?
We're going
it's no
by,
longer
I'm going
meets our
by,
standards?
by what I've seen and what's recommended.
Okay, what are those reasons?
It was re-inspected in 2004. There have been significant physical changes to the property, particularly the change in setting and environment, that therefore should be removed from the historic resources inventory. And what's there now doesn't at all look like what was evaluated in 1986.
Okay, so that comment, that update was made 20 years ago, and it's even further gone now.
Yeah, it's been remodeled substantially since 2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
They got approval to remodel it before.
Yeah, way before my time.
Yeah. Okay, well, if it no longer meets our inventory standards, then.
Yep.
Gotta take your word for it, I'll say that.
It's also, may I suggest, it's one of those hotels that people rent for the hour.
Say no more.
All right, so then the preschool, same question for the preschool.
Building no longer there is demolished, as I understand. I think I made reference to 23.
Oh, that's also demolished. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. That fascinating. Okay, well, that's an easy one too then.
Yeah.
Okay,
So would it be appropriate on such a motion?
I think it would be.
Before you do that, keep in mind that my recommendation, item number 2, only addresses delisting 3. So I inadvertently left out Santa Cruz Motel.
Yes, I would like to add the Santa Cruz Inn Motel.
Should we do that without having sufficient notification to the public that it was?
No, we have sufficient notification because I talk about it in the staff report.
Okay, so even though it's not on the agenda item, it's part of the staff report, that's public notification.
If you chase Becky down, you can pick up her copy. All right, Barry, you're gonna do that?
So I so move that we delist these 4 properties. Yes. Done.
For
Second,
clarification, it's a recommendation to the board, to be listed,
The
correct?
recommendation. Delist.
Oh, sure, I said.
okay,
So the board, as far as the sea breeze, we voted on, a motion was made and voted to put as interpretive sign there when it was rebuilt. So if we're not gonna deal with it, nothing's gonna be done, do we need to then make a motion to say that's no longer something that's sitting there on the books to be done?
a plaque?
Yeah,
No, we wanna maintain what was said some time ago.
Yeah, and then.
Okay.
That's not going away.
When the new building plans come before the planning department, they'll probably flag it and bring that item to us.
okay, so do we need to contact the owner to find out what his plans are for that? If it's something this next year or 10 years down the road?
I just, yeah, I can send an email to the property owner.
I mean, we can just mention, say, hey, part of the deal was that a plaque would be put up for
Yeah, we're gonna notify
Building,
them
and
when
then
we list
if
when
you're,
that happens.
planning on
You would,
building
yeah.
something,
That's
you
a
can
good
work it
time.
in, and if not, you need to do
Yeah,
something.
that's when you, without the new building plans.
Yeah, that would
That
be,
falls right into place.
absolutely.
Do we have a motion on?
No, and she
Oh, I
seconded.
Okay,
Yeah.
second from Joe, okay,
Also, I wanna add something to this 8B. If everything went the way it was supposed to go, and as I requested, these property owners at Alba School, Seabreeze, Discovery Christian, and the Santa Cruz Inn Motel got the notification, got the agenda.
okay,
Excellent.
and you didn't get a response from anyone, okay.
And I see nobody on this item. I do not.
Nobody online, good, yeah, thanks for keeping that.
8C?
Do we need to take a vote on that first? We.
Yeah.
Finish our vote, so. Sure.
Abstain because I don't.
Okay,
That's fair.
yeah, good.
I know who I am.
You're voting aye. Just confirm. Okay.
I,
Four ayes, one abstain. Sure. Okay. And it's 10:45. I'd like to get through the new business first. We can do that by 11, and we can take a short break and, finish up the meeting. Does that sound okay with everyone? Unless everything knows there's someone needs to urgently use the restroom. Okay. Item 8C, historic context statement, admin draft.
Okay, so this 225-page document is not a workshop. I hope that you took some time to read it. I thought it was fascinating.
Mhm.
It was very well done and it brought everything to focus about Santa Cruz County. Dudek did a fantastic job.
I did a fantastic job.
And I did tell Dudek that we have until this Friday to get comments to Dudek. If you have any issues with your report, Dudek report, then send something to me and look forward.
I'd like to make a passing comment that to be included. The DUDAC report was, performed, and studied by a team of people. And on that team was Jacob Stone, who is the PhD at UCSC, who wrote his thesis on the Redmond Hero House. Becky mentioned that thesis in passing. I studied and read every word of that 275-page thesis, and it was submitted here as evidence. And the opinion of the professional who is now employed by DUDAC was that it could not be saved. So just a passing note that helps validate the authenticity of the DUDAC report and the context statement. They use the deepest level of professionals to do it.
my comment is, I was, just blown over that, how detailed, how much information. What we got was certainly, I can't believe you did it for just 40,000.
Yeah.
You know, the
I'd say-
depth, the
Or a
breadth,
match,
the depth, the details, I was just, I was just amazed at the quality and quantity, it's,
Yeah.
and
That's
it,
what I think.
things that, I think a lot of us didn't know. And it really has opened up a lot of, questions, like, well, what about this and that? Is it possible to be able to send that report to other organizations? I'm thinking of some of the museums, small museums that would just love to have that report and be able to use that for going for their own oral histories and name, research. and
We're ready to
things.
go public with it over the next few months.
Okay,
Right now, I'm keeping it inside.
okay,
So they're waiting until Friday for you to say, good job, or we're good to go, finalize, and then we'll go public with it when the time's right. Okay. Unless there's any, comments or updates until then, so. It's a big document, and I think we've all read at least a portion of it, if not all of it, and, maybe do another quick once over, and by Friday, send any comments or recommendations to Matthew.
I just have a quick question. There are areas, and this is my SOV DPRs. So not the whole county, just SOV. And I got it from my predecessor, Barbara, and I've got all kinds of notes and things in it. But there are areas that are mentioned that we don't ever talk about, and I'm not sure where they fall into our area that we're supposed to be watching. And there was a couple, I had no idea even where they were, but in the report, all the maps for all these different areas, like, oh, that's where that is. So I'm just curious, Carbonara, Eureka Canyon, I don't even know how to pronounce the southern name, Salis, Bonnie Doon, San Andreas, Skyline, and Summit. I'm assuming that probably Skyline falls within my district.
Yeah, Bonnie Doon is fine.
See, and I think, I would love to know who does these areas. And maybe it means that we need to go, I definitely will, to my supervisor and say, what is your district? Because what we have on the list of DPR is a street name.
Right.
And those maps don't get down to that kind of level.
I had a discussion about this with Annie and Stephanie Hansen once. And what it has to do is that the historic districts don't conform to the 5 electoral supervisory districts. Okay, and so you've got to do a reconversion. You'll have, within a historic district, there could be 2 supervisors.
Okay.
Okay, because it was done for a bunch of different criteria.
Mhm.
The supervisor districts are done from the census results and a balancing, it's a conscious balancing by the board to have equal sized populations. The historic districts are by location period.
Well, I'm not quite sure how to find out if unless you guys know.
It's a task to figure
Then
out.
is there some way that maybe your office can let us know, oh, you are Skyline? Summit, I know what my Summit is, but I don't know if there's a Summit like in Aptos.
Right.
What that means. So is there some way these 7 we can find out and make sure we have those included?
Yeah, so what we'll do, I'm gonna give Matthew the task when he's not here right now, but we have this district, separate from the supervisorial districts for historic reasons on our GIS platform.
Yeah.
Which you've probably seen. So what we can do is put your names to them.
That would be great. I was gonna
Make a
say, or
little
on the
email
DVR,
out
the whose district or whatever. But yeah, that would be great because I feel like I'm ignoring properties that I didn't even know I was supposed to be, watching.
Yeah, and we'll zoom it in a little bit so you get actual streets that you can see on that. And we'll make a little map for you.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll email those out.
Okay. Sounds good. Really important to know that for clarification purposes, and even on some properties where there is some overlap, I mean, it's good to know whose responsibility it is, but we're all working together as a commission, and I'm happy to help you with your properties, and I know you help me with my properties, and I think,
I think it's particularly powerful when 2 commissioners are dealing with one bigger property. It shows a lot more, shows the person that they're important to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that sounds good. We are moving on to item 8D. We need to set some meeting dates. Before we talk about a potential day for a special meeting, let's just first get we know we're approved for 3 regular meetings. It would be nice for us to get 4 again, but what we have available now is 3 regular meetings. throughout the year, and I believe, this year we had them in February, in June, and today is September. So if that worked out well for everybody, we can try to use those months again. I don't know if you've got 2026 planned out already, but,
Do we wanna plan some dates right now? Is that what you like?
That's what this is, yeah, so let me,
I'm seeing this presentation about staff. What do you have up your sleeve, Matthew?
so.
Uh-huh.
So, I decided to go into the history books, so I looked at all the videos of, previous meetings, not all, 16 videos of previous meetings. To get an idea of how long they were. Out of the 16, 9 were 3+ hours long. These were 4 meetings per year. 9 of those 16 were 3+ hours long. The remainder were 2 to 3 hours. Now we're coming up to an hour and a half. Keep in mind, these meeting times were during the period when the HRC had 4 meetings per year.
Mhm.
So Barry is very much interested in going back to 4 meetings, and it's fine with me. I just want you to be aware that it doesn't seem to make any difference whether we have 4 meetings a year or 3 meetings a year. You're still gonna be in the 2 to 3 hour zone.
That's true, and I think, in the last couple, what is it, you and I talked about this, couple years, we haven't had any presentations by people requesting going to the planning department. And that's what ends up putting in a lot of our time. When we have somebody come in with architectural plans and schematics and this and that, and we end up spending a lot of time on that.
When was the last time you had such?
That's what I was,
Maybe the 8th Avenue.
which was what, 2021?
if we
Yeah.
went to 4 meetings a year, would there be less wiggle room for a special meeting to be called?
Now, we can always do specials, but here's my concern. My concern is that we were told by the Board of Supervisors that their budget had reduced us to 3 meetings. And that includes the budgetary implications of Matthew's time and Mark's time. And do we have the power to go to 4 without the board? Or do we request of the board that we go to 4 meetings? That we voted among ourselves that we prefer to have 4, and we request that the board make that adjustment, because we don't have the power to do it.
Correct, it's kind of a middle ground of those two. So it's not the board directly, it'd be the clerk of the board. So if you really felt strongly as a commission that you wanted to go back to 4, I'd suggest have the chair prepare a justification for it, forward it on to Matthew, and we can forward that to the clerk of the board as a request.
But can we do a middle ground of saying we will formally have 3 meetings a year?
And then a special.
And then, and like with the ordinance say, you know, we need a special meeting for that and say discuss the contact statement. Something like that where we're really getting deep into something with a lot of discussion, but keep the number of items to 1 to something like that.
Your bylaws don't require that at all. You can always have, I think Barry just said it, you can always have a special meeting if you need it. Because what if you have an applicant come in for a project you've got to review, right? And we're past
That's the reason
September,
they created it,
So-
for an application.
Yeah.
Exactly.
so you don't need to put that in there. We can always do special meetings.
So Mark, I don't know if you were here when, Kevin mentioned it, but the other members of the commission mentioned it. Having a special meeting and dive into the demolition permit documents again, in more detail after we've published things up.
Well, I think we were planning on having a special meeting to bring it back for consideration for the board, right? So
Full commission.
you can do both. You can do like a, you know, if you feel like you need to really dig into it before you make a consideration for it, you could do a workshop first, close the workshop and then open it up for an agenda item.
Yeah. And when we do this, it's gonna be staff report plus the resolution plus the ordinance.
Right. All 3.
And that means,
And the sequel.
and
The
that
sequel in there
means
too.
Mark will have reviewed Stephanie will review, Natalie upstairs and, the council council's going to addressing things like refusals. Right? That's a big deal.
Yeah.
So going back to the meeting dates, 4 would be great, but I think at this point in time, if we're covering the same amount of ground with 3, without having, 5-6 hour meetings, thankfully. I'm comfortable with keeping it at 3 with the flexibility of having special meetings called. If we find ourselves having special meetings every single year, and multiple, 1 or 2, then maybe we can say, like, we obviously need more than 3. But for the last couple, how long have we been through? 2 years now? First year, 3?
No, I think we did it 2024.
Yeah, I think we started.
Yeah.
I started, but I think you had 4 that year.
Okay,
Yeah, I think Barry's right. It's the first full year of 3.
I say we just go along with it until we need press for 4.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion. I'm just one member of this commission, so it's up to everyone else too.
Has anybody conjured up any proposed dates?
No, that's what we're doing right now, so,
I recommend
I think
that
your
you're the same
agenda
as
does, doesn't it?
February, June.
June, and.
okay.
And then Matthew, you'd send out specific dates and we'd all make sure that
Yeah.
we're good.
Yeah,
Fine, you don't have to do that here.
So February, what date are we looking at?
we're not,
That's.
not yet.
We're just looking at the month.
Month,
And then
February,
Matthew's-
June,
February, June?
and September. Just like 2024.
Right.
And then I'll be coming back with, dates, options. There's that little.
Correct me if I'm wrong, don't the bylaws tell you what week of the month?
Yeah, isn't it always like the first or
I
second?
think it's second, is
Second
it's in your
Monday.
bylaws, yeah.
So we could come up.
And then
now.
modified by whatever holidays might fall.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I think let's at least agree on the first meeting, since we're not gonna meet again until then. Is February 9th okay for everyone? That's the second Monday of February.
Sure.
Yeah, that works.
Good.
And then when we come back to the February meeting, then we can throw that on as consent item for the remainder of the meetings for the rest of the year.
Good idea.
February 9th.
Okay, we moved up item,
9B to 8E.
yes, 9B to 8B, so that's the Mills Act. Let's take a break. It's 11 o'clock. I wanted to get through the new business,
Yeah,
but that might take a little bit
no,
to
Mills Act.
discuss. So let's take a short break and we'll like 10 minutes. Is
10
that
minutes,
good enough?
yeah, 11, 15.
Friends, let me share that I'll be leaving in about 10 after.
Okay.
Okay.
11:15. Break. Yeah.
Matthew, I tasked you with a work product here, we're gonna work on it together, we're gonna get a map that shows the
Thanks.
historic districts within the supervisorial districts. And we'll put the names of the commissioners on that map, like May, we can email it out to them, so they know where their districts are. It'll be a street map with names on it. So they see where the Summit Road here is, you might just.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
We'll get a net, maybe Jacob to help us out.
All right. Good.
So were you going to put on the board the PowerPoints, or are we gonna look at our?
Yeah. Not on there.
I don't think we have PowerPoint. Or do we?
Yeah, I sent them to you,
It's
but,
on the link.
because I think you wanted, from the last meeting, you said.
Luck of the draw today was bright and sunny by the time we got out in the water, so I don't do well in the heat. I have European pigment, and so I burn easily, and it tires me out, and it was one of the worst run experiences I've ever had. But I finished, and so that was my main goal, was to finish.
Yeah.
You're here today.
And I'm here today. I almost couldn't get out of bed today. Like standing up was like, oh,
Does the burn hurt?
burn's not too bad. Yeah,
Yeah, there's just no way to keep sunscreen on for that.
No. I sprayed myself twice in transition too, and it's just,
Actually, I just had a vision of sidelining people
that run alongside you and spray copper them.
Right.
And then they drop out. And then a couple miles later, somebody else sprays you.
They have that in the transition area. They've got tables set up for sun, so if on your run out, if you stop there, they'll get you, but yeah.
All right, we're on.
All right, coming back from break at 11:15, let's tackle the last item in new business, which is 8E. This was moved, we took item 9B and moved it up into 8E.
Mhm.
So if we look at 9B, it is the Mills Act. Got a staff update on implementation. It was recommended that we move it up to new business because implementing the Mills Act is technically a new item versus the.
Right.
The original one
Yeah.
Of
trying
selecting it,
Yeah.
to get it
Yeah.
implemented.
using it.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it being a continuation, but let's just, since we already did it, let's take it on as a new item.
Yeah, and there's not much more to say other than what I've already written here, that the Mills Act application template is under construction.
Mhm.
The contract template is done. It might get some tweaking later. Restoration plan template, I have that. And the big issue is the fee structure. And how how the county is gonna request fees to initiate the applicant's Mills Act application. And again, we use other agencies'
Mhm.
information, we don't reinvent the wheel.
Mhm.
And then we analyze what they've done in other jurisdictions and figure out what's gonna be working for us. And that's pretty much it, and so the plan is to kick it off so that people can walk in here, starting at the beginning of the year.
Mhm.
And start moving towards a Mills Act implementation, but the money won't be there until.
Next June.
June,
Yeah,
July.
I think June.
Yeah,
July.
Fiscal year,
Right.
July one fiscal year.
Did you mention at the last meeting that they can apply prior to the new year? Is that still?
No, we're not gonna do it that way, because
We're not gonna do it that
we're not gonna be ready.
Okay, is there any way, so it sounds to me like if someone wants to participate in the Mills Act, there's a fee involved. Is there gonna be resources available to estimate, like not have to be official, but if someone just came to us and said, hey, if I were to buy this building, what would the property taxes look like without them having to pay a fee to figure it out?
They just go to the county recorder assessor
Okay,
and then give the county recorder assessor information about. The
Give
property
them the proposed
location,
sale price and they'll tell them what the
Okay.
fees would be.
yeah,
and the county assessor will be able to tell them
it shouldn't be difficult to
with
do.
the Mills Act, okay.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
it's formula driven.
The reason I'm asking about this is because, as previously mentioned, the Bayview Hotel is still up for sale, and that's a big item for a potential new owner would be the benefit of the Mills Act on that building.
Absolutely.
And so if they're looking into it right now, if they're gonna make up, if they're on the fence about it, and we wanna
Mhm.
tell them about the Mills Act.
Boy, howdy, good call, Kevin, really good.
Well, if I knew it'd be that quick, I wouldn't have waited until after the break to go through it.
Regarding the Bayview particularly,
Mhm.
this may sound funny, but, if there is a lively applicant.
Mhm.
We might want to invite that applicant to sit in on our February meeting.
Mhm.
To show our transparency and to show our support for historic structures, just.
Yeah.
It's a public meeting, if you'd like to sit in on it, you may hear about your own, the act and the updates, and so
Yeah,
that would be an early lure to keep an interested potential buyer.
I'll communicate that to the realtor who is showing the place.
Yeah,
I'll let them know that it's okay to
There
tell
could be
them.
one good offer,
They can
right?
come in remotely, they don't.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, and the buyer may be somebody who, for all we know, lives in Philadelphia.
Mhm.
And wants his Aptos bed and breakfast.
Yeah,
Who wouldn't?
right? Such a beautiful building.
Yeah, it's nice.
If I won $1.8 billion, I would.
It's actually, I've had extensive talks about this with one of the potential buyers. He also sees it as I do, as being just the most ultimate catering and party house, where people have an event there, I rent the whole place, put people up on property,
It's been cleaned up a lot in the past couple of months and.
so you can see your bedrooms and
So
so
the-
the structure looks like.
Yeah, I can get inspectors to come in and do a thorough appraisal and report.
So Christina seems to be cooperating and
The family
wanting to move
is,
ahead.
yeah, she's kind of out of the, she's got a lot of health issues and
The daughters, it seems to have grown up.
it's a couple of daughters are involved. Yeah, it's
Good.
it's a complicated situation, but they are doing the right thing to move forward and the hotel is very much cleaned up now and is able to be shown again to potential buyers.
Oh,
And it's-
fantastic.
I mean, like, I've been in there like countless times and, yeah, like I said, the bones are strong in that building and all it's gonna take is a little TLC and it's not too far gone by
And
any.
you've got
I mean,
so many activities
Mhm.
and things to do so close within walking.
Yeah.
I mean, could be a magnet,
Yeah,
To go a block and get to a state park.
yes.
oh, you've got the state park there, you've got the county park there, you've got the beach, that's exactly 1 mile away, I mean, it's in the whole new Aptos Village there.
Well, and you've got-
Ice cream.
And you've got the restaurant right behind them that is run by a Michelin star
Yeah.
chef.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that could be so much more than it is.
Absolutely. Fingers crossed.
You know what, it's going to be, it's pretty guaranteed that thing's gonna just be fantastic.
Yeah,
It's just who's gonna be the fantastic person doing it.
exactly.
If Joe does it, it'll be out of this world.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that is the Mills Act, so let's move on to officially move on to item 9. Whole business, 9A, this is the review of the commission goals.
Spotlight, please.
Take it away.
You're the golden.
Yeah. So, so that's this group of, I guess attachments. So, I do PowerPoint, so we can go through things, and then there's a spreadsheet that has a history of the goals. So normally I wouldn't do this first, PowerPoint, but, Jim, to get you acquainted with what this is. A few years back, the commission decided we needed to, assign certain things as goals for us. Cause some of them are ongoing, some of them are long-term, like the Mills Act, and we didn't want things to fall between the cracks. So this first sheet just tells you that each goal, we look at it, we discuss it. Is it something that needs to continue? Or if it's completed, what was the completion? If it's done, should it be archived? And then do we need a new goal, like with the Mills Act? We've completed the goal of getting it implemented. Now we're into a new goal of getting it implemented to the property owners and getting a process in place. And then after that's done, we'll see if that'll be it, or if there'll be another goal, phase 3 kind of. And I only go through all of the outstanding goals. I think now it'll be like our February 2027 meeting. So this first one is, so the next PowerPoint is the goals that are open. So that's goal number 2, 3A, 3B, 6, 15, which is the new Mills Act, and 16, I believe, is the context statement. And then I made an change on this one, and I can send it to you. So I just identified that 3B was discussed under new business as 8A. Goal number 16 was item 8C, and 15 was 9B. Goals 1 and 4, there's no activity, so we won't discuss them. We closed goals 5 and 11 at the June meeting. These are the goals that were archived by Matthew. And then these are all the goals that have been archived since June 2019, since this started. So just a quick overview. So, goal number 2 is where we're starting. And that is a cleanup of our historic resources inventory. And, we have been discussing that. We will be trying to conduct 3 site visits. Take some pictures because as you've seen in some of the DPRs, the pictures are horrendous. Some of them are just all black. And then we are sending any updated information, photographs to Matthew. So in talking with Matthew, prior to the meeting, the action item listed on the spreadsheet was that staff would send out a new DPR list by district. And both of us were unclear of what that kind of meant. And, for me, I think I was thinking of what's is the list in front of an area. And, because, but I can, update my own. See, I've got of this, of getting a new one of those because my other ones, they're all marked up and like here, Barbara thought that the Brookdale Lodge should be upgraded to a 5.
Yeah, I've never.
I don't have that.
You don't have that?
I don't think anybody else does.
Oh, okay. This is the list I have that I was thinking of getting clean ones.
Got an inventory of all the sites.
No, this is something that. Is this about adding, or this is
I was just want,
contents?
so it tells you the order of the DPRs behind it.
I see. Okay,
Looks like the index page.
it's the index page for a planning area, like Live Oak, you
Ah,
have one of those.
so
Aptos-
that's the official name.
And Aptos Hills would have one of those.
Right, correct.
Yes,
What we don't have is, so we've got, I think, 16 planning areas,
Right.
we have 5 districts. So,
Right.
so I was thinking of, after all this time, getting a clean one of these. And then Matthew and I said, well, maybe what was meant was that when, information on a DPR was sent out, that, we would get the clean DPR addendum sheets to add to our group of listings. So I wanted to open it up and basically ask, what would you like, or do you need anything, or should just leave this open as sending Matthew information on one of our properties when we get it? And that he will give us, or let us know when the update's been maintained, put into the file here.
Is there an inventory for each district designated sites?
no, it's
Okay.
not organized by district, it's
No.
organized by planning
Planning
areas.
But how, is there a way to find out which planning areas are within each district?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
HR.
but you
Otherwise,
would
how
have,
would I determine what?
Is that the HRI?
Yeah, there you go. You could do it that way. You could sort it online. There's a couple ways to do it. You can sort it online. We have maps again on our GIS website where you can look at them and kind of, if you had 2 screens, you just compare the two, put the 2 together and kind of see where they're at. We are gonna create this other one that's gonna have every district with your names on it and which one you're responsible for.
Oh, okay.
So there's a few
That'll be
different
available on the
tools.
website.
Yeah, I think we'll email it out to start and see if everybody likes it, and then we can formalize a GIS layer if everybody likes that.
This looks like, I know that I have 2 of historic districts, Pajaro Valley and Salsa Puedes. It looks like Kevin has Eureka Canyon, Aptos Village, and San Andreas. So he has at least 3. So we're gonna find that as you go through. In the Dudek report, the first map you come to is the county map. And it's got an overview of all the districts listed. So that's my go-to. And this is the Dudek.
you mentioned Aptos Village, I don't think we have a.
No.
It's AA, what's it called? AA.
Aptos, and then there's Aptos Hills.
Oh, Aptos Hills. Age.
That's the H here.
Right.
But then you also have part of the Silva.
And it looks like Eureka Canyon might be a split route also.
Yeah, and Pajaro Valley, there's also,
I,
yeah, some overlap with District Two.
oh, that's right, like,
Yeah.
so. There sure is.
I went through the,
Freedom side,
I-
yeah.
downloaded the HRI and, yeah,
Cool.
because I needed to do it for my own district,
Yep.
so I'd love to see you.
So on this one, do we wanna just leave it open and basically say that when Matthew has received some DPR updated information, that he will report at the meetings what he's received? And just keep us updated that way?
Okay, so we've been talking about updating the DPRs and meaning you have to go to the site, you have to look at the house, take some photographs and take
Yeah.
stock of what's going on to update a property or update a DPR. So far, none of that's been done in time that I've been here.
Did you get an email from me? I sent.
You did,
You sent,
Okay.
you
You
sent
did
the
send that.
photographs.
thank you. Except for you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the reminder. And, you know, it's,
Sent photos. I didn't try to do the DPR.
you're not supposed to. Yeah, the photos are more important, and from that, we can take stock and think about what could be done.
Yeah, because none of us are contractors or engineers or,
Yeah.
you know, like, it's not up to us to say, oh, you know, the shingles on that roof are, you know, like, it's basically to get a good enough photo to where the planning department can, or whoever can.
Well,
look at it and say,
you can make comments about it, you can.
I mean, if you notice.
There's obvious stuff,
Yeah.
broken windows or missing siding or
Right,
front stoop.
but it's not our responsibility to do a thorough inspection.
No. No, no, that's,
Anything that's obvious, make note of it, but not.
yeah, no, the point I'm assuming, now that we've gotten one grant, is that we will be applying for other grants to hire people to go out and do that further research.
Yeah, and I can tell you that grants coming out of Sacramento are getting to be few and far between.
They're pretty light.
Yeah.
Yeah, state budget's not great, but there's other areas too, so.
Yeah.
I think a
We'll
good place
keep
to
looking.
start too is if these pictures are horrible, this
Yeah.
is a good example
Yeah.
of that
Yeah.
photo. But they're not all this bad. If you look at the current photo. And then you go to that site, if you see any differences, if you see a deck was put on the side of the building. If you see maybe the windows look different than they do in the photos, like making those types of notes to send along would be helpful.
When I was, looking up, a couple properties, when we get down to when I make the presentation. Under the GIS, I couldn't find anything that had homeowner names. So if you could maybe email me where on the county website for the DPR properties, inventory properties, where I can find the owner is listed.
Well, you said two different things there, and the latter is there, so you can find the owner, the property owner is there, but that may be a name like, you know, Johnson LLC.
No, there was,
Nothing
I
to
couldn't
you.
find anything, I couldn't find anything that said name or owner.
Oh, we
or
can
anything. So if
guide
you
you to
could
that.
send me the path,
Sure,
that,
Yeah.
cause that's why I feel I'm just down a different path.
yeah. Now, what you won't find if you're going down this further here is you won't find particular names, first name, last name, and a phone number or an email.
Okay,
So that's the one thing that we have to do a little differently to try to get that for you. We're a non-disclosure county, we don't, you know, you notice nobody
right,
gets these spam calls in this county for, hey, you wanna sell this property? That's why we don't disclose that stuff. So we'll have to go a different way to try to find that.
okay, so to make sure I have my notes, then that's the way we want, what we're putting as a. Not exactly an action item, but that the staff will update us when
Yeah,
a property's gotten more information on it.
yeah, I would say, I would say update, even if you go to a property and, all looks good, that's still a report back, that's still, I visited this property, here are the current updated photos, everything looks good. It doesn't, you know, we don't need to always find something to update, like it could just be like.
Well, what,
Yeah,
What do we wanna put down then for the status of this goal?
Oh, it's gonna be ongoing for quite some time. There's a lot of properties on this inventory list.
So then
Or
at each
thinking
meeting,
about
you want me to put on ongoing?
Yeah.
Okay,
For now, yeah, I think that would be the best.
okay.
The inventory list is on the website. Or
yes, it's in two places.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
just created a layer. What month was that? I'm gonna say, actually, that was last year.
A year
wasn't it?
ago, yeah.
Yeah, so we had this, first thing I noticed when I came to this meeting 3 years ago was, the inventory was in this, a book similar to Linda's there, that if that thing got destroyed, we were done.
Yeah.
So that was all we had, was this book.
So
And-
we had the electronic version of
and
this.
we had an electronic version that wasn't up to date, had some bad photos on it, bad scans, really bad, low quality scans. So what Matthew and I and Andy talked about was, let's get higher quality scans of everything and then update the photos. That led to what you all are doing, because the photos were still not great. So what we did is we created a GIS layer now that you can go in there. It says historic resources inventory, and then it has it by NR rating, and you can click on it. And if it has a DPR, we now scan the DPRs into it, so it'll open up that property record. So you get all the assessor's record, all of the planning data, all those tabs that you get in land use, plus the DPR is available to see there.
but it's not by district yet, or it's.
It's a county-wide GIS map, no matter where the property is, you can find it.
What was the second one? Was that the one where it's on the website? Is it?
Oh, yeah, sorry, the second one's the website, yes.
I think, Jim, I think what you're, correct me if I'm wrong, but what you're trying to get at is, how do I know what properties are in my district?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do I look at?
Yeah, your own list.
If
We don't
if can
have
give
that
them some
yet.
guidance.
That's what you're tasked to do. I
Yeah,
created this for you, so we'll get that to you guys, and
Yeah,
it'll make some sense, and we'll post that. I think there's some merit in posting that into a layer.
Hmm.
So we'll make it so everybody knows where that's at, cause I didn't realize that you had overlap and underlap. If you've got three, you gotta know where those are, and then, if you hit the lottery and move to Hawaii, your
Yep.
assessor has to know as well, so.
Right.
Well, it's like voting districts and
Yeah,
city, county districts and,
Yep.
yeah, it gets confusing.
yes.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, goal 3A, demolition and partial demolition. This was upgrading, updating the ordinances. What was submitted back on July 17th, 2023 has been, kept on the PowerPoint, and Matthew is working on it. That will not be the verbiage going into the new county amendments. So, on here, it's basically the status from this meeting is it's ongoing, still working on it.
yes.
And so, you'll report at the February meeting what its status is.
Regarding demolition by neglect or early.
No, this is demolition and partial demolition. So that's,
Second item, yeah.
yeah, that's been part of the county for several years. And the
Yeah.
point was that it gotten old, it needed to be updated.
Okay, so I haven't looked at this, I haven't read it, I haven't paid any attention to it, but I will. My focus has been on demolition by neglect.
Okay,
I'll
problem.
see about this as another task.
Yeah, I'd recommend for sure keeping these separate.
Mhm.
You report back to that, give you some time to get through that. Give us some time to review it. So, February sounds good, but then, I assume you already talked about the special meeting for demo by neglect
Mhm.
in October.
Yeah.
We talked about it, but that's a good point. I don't think we never
We
came up
didn't
with a date.
select, no, we didn't select the date because we need you, Stephanie and Natalie to run through it.
Yeah,
And
we'll
then
have to
once
wrap that up quickly though.
Then we can say we can pick a date
Yeah,
for special.
So Matthew will send out some date options for a special.
it'll be options, so make sure everybody's available.
Got it.
Okay, so then the next one is the, goal 3B is demolition by neglect. And, so I'll put at this meeting, we were handed out a draft, latest draft.
Yep.
And, will be, a workshop, scheduled for 2026? Or do we want to be specific with February?
Well, what I think we're gonna do with demo and neglect, I hope, maybe some comments got to Matthew in this meeting, about what we emailed out on Friday. But what we're planning on doing, I think, to Barry's point, and I think it's, I saw some heads nodding what we can do for October. If you want, you feel that you need to digest this a little bit more, talk about it some more before you take an action. We can maybe schedule an hour and a half long meeting, or maybe 2 hours. First hour is a workshop to go over it, and you can cut that short whenever you want, it's just to open it, adjourn it, whatever. Then move into a regular agenda item that will have the vote, that is gonna be a recommendation to the board.
Would we want to schedule that meeting today here now?
No, I don't think that's a good idea to set a date, because our workload and what we do between now and whatever that date is, we have to.
You're gonna prepare more stuff.
We have stuff to do, and I don't wanna be driven by a select date.
No, no.
I'd rather have our stuff done, and then we can say, let's pick that date
You'll be sending us more material.
at some point, yeah.
And then based on that material, we will then call for a special meeting.
Yeah,
We'll give you some date options
You're
and.
gonna take it farther down the road first.
yes,
Right.
Very good. Thank you.
so no date certain, but, Mark was saying October, I think that's probably too ambitious.
Late October could be a problem, but if it has to go to November, we'll do it early November, so no
Right.
conflict with any of your vacation plans.
So, I put down for status, latest draft provided to commission, schedule special meeting to review,
Yes.
Perfect.
okay? And, the next one is goal number 6, update and maintain HRC website. And that ended up going to you, because you were gonna go through the links and test them out.
Yep. Yeah, we did some of that. I'm still not terribly happy with a lot of things on the website, to be honest. I haven't really vetted this with you too much. I did a little bit, but the other thing I'm not super happy about is the agendas. If you look at the agendas, if somebody's got one there, what we really need is this Zoom link on the agenda. Because what this is a static website link to every meeting that you can just click on and jump into.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you're following the HRC and we send you an agenda, you don't know that link's there unless you know to look for it. Cause we don't even reference it in our agendas. So that's why we've got nobody puts that here. Cause you're gonna get 3 or 4
Well,
people
wait,
watching.
we have
this like-
webinar link written
Yeah.
here, isn't that what webinar link is?
In past years, we always had 2 or 3 people watching.
Yeah. So is this September 8th? Okay, so we do have this on here, okay. That's not on the one I have.
Well, it should,
Interesting.
she has it too, no?
No, see, and this is what's on the website.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why there's a difference between them.
Who sent this out, Matthew?
I did,
You did, and you got this from?
I did.
What you wrote, okay. So how did we transcribe what's,
How do we go from that to
You-
this?
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
Is the.
So anyway-
Maybe on the.
we'll have to make sure that syncs up properly, cause I noticed that too, but, the answer to your question is, yeah, we've updated a few things, we'll have to go through a few more. So maybe on the status of this item, put, in progress, if you need, some wording there. Say maybe 2 or 3 of these links have been corrected and redirected. Ongoing into 2026 for sure. Yes, that's me. I'm sorry.
Jim.
We never formed that, Jim. Yeah. Pleasure to meet you.
So, so I've got in progress, 2 or 3 links, corrected. I should probably put in the other order, 2 or 3 links corrected, in progress.
Into 2026. It's gonna take a bit, because what I see
Okay.
us having to work with now is gonna involve another department. So we'll have to get those folks involved.
Cause I think for us, it, you know, one of the, is the completeness and user friendly
Right,
for our public.
yeah. Yeah, and then I think I'm not mentioning it here, but I think you all know, we went through and revamped our whole website. It's all new now. The
Right,
platform is something that's more commonly used among other jurisdictions. It's got bigger bubbles instead of just text and boxes that are hard to read, you know? So that piece is fully implemented, but it didn't really translate that well, and some things aren't that, are kind of clunky on the HRC specific website. So that's what we gotta clean up here,
All I know is it's not very user friendly.
right?
It's hard to find, and then when you're there, you're like, what am I looking at?
Yeah,
And it's really hard to get the public involved or even like, they say, oh, you're on the HRC, what does that mean? Oh, I'd love to just give them, go to the website, but.
yeah. Yeah, and one of the things too, I wanna work with is, it's, right now, you've got this meeting agenda right below the commission name, and then just some other links. I'd like it to be a splash page.
Yeah.
That
What is
has-
a splash page?
That has, you know, photos, and things that we're working on right now. Something that's prettier, you want
So-
something
so
that
kind
looks good to the public.
kind of like
That
the
you like-
board that you had at the history fair to grab people's attention.
That, great, yes, it shouldn't just be some oblong shapes and a couple links, right? It should be, boom, hit you with, you know, something that looks like a historic back cover of a landscape in Santa Cruz County.
Basically,
And
this
then-
looks like the most basic thing, just to follow compliance rules of
Yeah.
posting
Yeah.
information.
Well, it's in the old mentality that government is boring.
Mm,
And it feeds an earlier era. It feeds an earlier era of mentality that is no longer an appropriate fit,
right,
okay?
Oh.
So, yeah, and, we're trying to be proactive, positive resource for the community.
Mhm.
And if you go to the page, it's not inviting, it's not
Right.
welcoming you in, it's not saying we're your ally and friend.
right,
And that we're professional and know what we're doing.
right.
There's a whole message, a whole marketing message that is not present.
And who all of you are should be right on that splash page.
Mhm. Right, and
Your
all,
point about friendly, we're to help you.
and the information, like the contact statement and,
Yeah.
you know, our, I think we have our bylaws,
Mhm.
that kind of thing should be there too.
Yeah,
So people know what we're about, what
Uh,
is our focus and priorities.
I sure agree with you. Also, I thought of this when we were talking about the Mills Act. If you would like to make an application to implement the Mills Act for your property, the logic would be to use your district commissioner from your local district to help you with that process. And you go to the webpage to get the telephone number or email of your own commissioner, and you send them a letter. I mean, you could either write to the county, but wouldn't you want to write to your commissioner if you knew that pathway existed?
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that yeah, it's fine to have a link there, but I don't think that people necessarily need to contact us for Mills Act. I think
I think of my business and I think that I have my sales reps, names, and what territory they cover on my website. And I've also got my company and my office. And people seem to call their local sales rep rather than call into central to our office, because they're gonna get somebody, because they're gonna get somebody that's assigned to them, that's their territory. So I think both work. I think if we had it out there, people would have both options, and some people would see it one way, some would see it another way.
but to your point of privacy too, we could always just put your name there and a picture
right,
and don't have to have an email or phone.
yeah,
number.
I don't know that I would feel personally comfortable for somebody contacting me with Mills Act questions.
I think Matthew's email or the
Yeah.
county
Yeah.
assessor's contact.
And he's what's on there now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where it should stay.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no problem being a conduit to Matthew about
Yeah.
most everything.
That's right.
Okay, next goal.
Okay, so the next one is 15, and this is, at the last meeting, we decided this needed to go into phase 2 and be a new goal. And so, you stated that you're going to be, you're working, on,
Rollout in January,
you're working on the rollout.
yes.
And so you'll make a report at the February meeting on the process and how it's going and how far along.
And Linda, just so everybody online hears and knows it is being recorded, say what number 15 is, just for the record.
Number 15 is the Mill Act contracts implementation. Okay. And our last goal for discussion today is goal number 16, updating contact statement. And that was discussed earlier.
That's right.
Under new business. And that.
Let's see, draft provided.
Draft provided. And wasn't there some more action item to be done on the contact
Oh,
statement?
yeah, we're gonna have a special meeting.
No,
That was,
that's
that's.
demolition by.
Oh, I'm sorry. Absolutely, sorry, sorry.
No,
The contact statement is we have Friday.
we have
Yeah,
until Friday to
Friday.
get,
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, give our input to Matthew by Friday.
and make that noon on Friday.
Yeah.
And we're on schedule with our contractor.
I think we are,
Nice. Everything's running smoothly.
and on budget.
All right, Linda, thank you for the goals. Anything else to add before we wrap it up?
No, is there anything from our discussion in this meeting so far that any of you feel should be made into a goal? Or are we good?
I don't have anything to add. I think it's a pretty good list. All right, thank you again for that. Item 9C, the delisting of the Redmond Harahara House. Board of Supervisors approved it on their August 5th meeting. Matthew, do you have a verbal presentation for us or anything you want to update us on?
That's it.
That's
That
it.
it happened, and the next step is to change the zoning on the property. So that we get rid of that L designation, and we get rid of that historic. It's a historical landmark designation, L as in landmark.
And then is the next step where you advertise for anyone who wants to buy and move the house or?
That will come along, I'm communicating with the property owner about that, so yeah, that's involved.
Is that part of the listing process or is that part of the demo?
That's part of the
process?
demolition.
Demolition.
Right, yeah,
That's in the code, we'll
yeah.
open that
So as
up.
far as the delisting is concerned, we're pretty much,
We're done.
we're wrapping up with that. We're done with that. Okay.
Regarding the demolition, there's even a point where I think that they open it to the public to go in
Mhm.
and examine and take what they want.
And that may not happen
Yes,
because, because of
safety.
safety
Yes,
issues.
which is core to the product.
And this is just kind of a side comment dealing with the Redmond House. The person that I talked to about applying for a certificate of appreciation or letting me. She said that when they were going in and tearing out a lot of the inside of the Redmond House, she happened to stop and she got all the tiles that was around the fireplace. So she's got the tiles from the Redmond House. She said they were just pulling out the banisters and just throwing everything and the tiles they happened to have gotten before she got in there. They were cracking because they're just throwing them, throwing things on them.
Don't those belong to the owner of the property?
Well, they got in there and there was, cause this was like 2-3 years ago. But it was a crew coming in to take things
That
out.
sounds just 2 or 3 years ago? No.
I
that's
can-
been-
I can ask
More
her
like 20 years
specifically,
ago.
maybe, might have been that long. Cause I was asking her, like I said, about the certificate and telling her that the Mills Act is approved, she's ecstatic.
So the
About
tile, that you mentioned the tile around the fireplace, there's a place in Lincoln, California that, I forget the name of the manufacturer of tiles. And they've been at that business since the
And they do this
1860s.
historically appropriate time.
And they create some beautiful stuff, and it probably was the source of the Redmond Harahara House.
Oh, wow,
And
Yeah,
they still they have the old patterns, the old templates from over 100 years ago.
it's nice that there's companies that do that,
Yeah,
that really care about history and try to,
yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
item 9C, Redmond Hara. Moving on to item 9B, the website update. Do we talk about that during the goals? Is there anything we skipped or
I
anything
think
else
we
to add?
just covered it in the goals, so yeah.
Okay. 9E, inventory updates, concern regarding ease of access. We also talked about that as part of the website and part of the DPR and part of the goals. Anything else to add? No?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
we got it.
All right. Item 9F. The Aptos Village Firehouse and the Heen Apple Barn graphics display. This is in reference to the old Aptos Village Firehouse, which was a building that was torn down to make way for the new building that currently houses the Cat and Cloud Coffee Shop in Aptos Village. It's right next to the Bayview Hotel. There was a display put on the side of the building. It was part of the building requirements for them when they tore it down to rebuild. The display, this was brought to us by a member of the public, Becky, who was here earlier, brought this to our attention a while ago. And she brought up a really good point. I gotta hand it to her. She brought up a really great point that the display is badly faded. It's really, it doesn't look good. You can still make out what it is, but it just doesn't look good. It needs to be updated. It needs
This
to
is
be.
the high-end Apple Barn?
No, this is the Aptos Village Firehouse. This is the Cat and Cloud.
Yeah,
Coffee.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So. It needs to just be updated with either better materials or be put behind some protected glass, because I think the way that the sun hits it, every couple of years it's gonna fade out. If they do it the same way that they originally did it.
Yeah,
So Matthew, I think you were going to.
I have the name and address, yeah.
Perfect, okay. And then the Heen Apple Barn, which currently houses the New Leaf grocery store in Aptos, it was moved from its original location, and in my opinion, it was saved as probably, anyway, I won't go down that rabbit hole now, but the old Heen Apple Barn is now the New Leaf. There are also historic displays on the side of the outside of the building. Those are holding up just fine. It was brought up as a concern, but I went and looked at it with my own two eyes, and there's nothing wrong with the displays. It was also brought up by a member of the public that the paint on the side of the building is starting to peel away. I looked at it, there is some paint that is chipping, but it is not to the point of.
It's not pervasive.
No, and we'll leave it up to the property owner to do maintenance, when they plan on doing it. If it gets to a point where it becomes really bad, then I think we can step in, but I think the most important thing here is that it was pointed out to us. And we're monitoring it, and we're keeping an eye on it, and that's the best that we can do at this point.
Okay. Thanks for checking those.
Yeah, absolutely. Item 9G, September 8th, 2004 HRC minutes of interest is item 7D, a reminder to remain vigilant.
Yeah, I was scanning through some old staff reports and I came across this one and I just bring it to your attention. Because sometimes fire departments and their excitement to burn something, they burn the wrong building. So that's all I'm saying, is that little things like this can sneak onto the landscape, and next thing you know, the building's gone and it wasn't supposed to be gone. And fire departments don't check with local government to see if it's a historic inventory building or not. So that's all that's. Stay vigilant.
Okay.
Is there supposed to put out fires?
Yeah.
No, it's changed.
Not when they're starting.
so fire departments do not check with their city council.
Well,
Oh, yeah, they should be.
in this case, it looks like that's what happened, but they're supposed to check.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. We will remain vigilant. Thank you for that. That's wraps up the old business. We're moving on to item 10, commissioner presentations. Item 10A is the Arano House visit. That is for me to report on, and I will say that. Last Wednesday, so just a few days ago, I visited the Arano House in Aptos. I was there with Carolyn Swift, who, is she's an ex-HRC commissioner, the person who replaced her when she stepped down, and thank goodness she's still very passionate about local history and is very happy to volunteer her time and her expertise. She's helped me quite a bit transitioning into this position, and then, when she found out that I was planning a visit to the Arano House, she volunteered to come along as a second set of eyes, and I said, absolutely, please do. So what's going on with the Arano House, to fill you in, is there's two historic properties on a retail plot of land in Aptos. And one of them is the Rice House, the other is the Arano House. That property was purchased by the RTC to make way for the rail trail that they're constructing. Part of it, the reason is they need to expand the trail on the railroad tracks. The other part of their purchase was to keep that area for staging purposes. Yeah, it's crazy. They spent all that money to buy properties just to like stage their equipment, but they really had no other option. It's a retail center that's actively used, so they had nowhere else to put their stuff. They did it. They own the properties now. It was a big, it's become a concern that, what is their intention with these properties when all is said and done? There's a lot of exterior buildings that were added on to these historic properties, some garages, some individual rental units. None of them hold any kind of historic significance, and so we've communicated with the RTC, we've given them our blessing. You wanna tear those down? Feel free, that's not.
The shed roof's attached to the Arano house.
Right. Yeah,
Which doubles the footprint of the original.
yeah.
Maybe even more than doubles. The footprint.
Yeah, my concern is that it does not appear that they have been maintaining the properties. And so I requested this meeting to get a walkthrough of the Arano House, specifically. The Rice House was a lot of work was done to it right before they sold it to the RTC, and it's in beautiful shape. I'm not too concerned about that. They have no plans on tearing that down. There's plenty of room there, but the Arano House, I'm very concerned about demolition by neglect. So I requested the meeting. And sure enough, there's been a lot of squatters breaking into the exterior buildings. It doesn't look like anyone's broken into the Arano buildings, but there's some graffiti on the side of the house, unfortunately. The doors windows are boarded up. There's a new security door on the front door, so would be pretty difficult to access the Arano house. But there's two individuals we met out there, Bella Cressman and Nicholas Fabricino. They are part of the real property specialists of the RTC. The RTC actually created a department to deal with real properties, because they're not property, they're in transportation, they're not into property ownership, so they had to develop this department to help monitor these real properties. They were nice enough to meet us out there. They gave us fair warning ahead of time. He said the only reason we wouldn't be able to go inside is if the key didn't work. I said, well, make sure you get the right key, because that's the point of this visit. Sure enough, the key didn't work. And so that immediately I said, okay, if you don't even have the right key, how do I know that you're going into this place? When was the last time anyone went inside to monitor this property? Shrugs.
How long have they owned it?
2-3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe they've probably owned it for a couple of years. It's been vacant for probably a year, because there were still tenants in it when they purchased it. So the tenants were there, they were maintaining it, they were doing fine, but it's probably been vacant for the better part of a year now,
Yeah.
if not longer. And my main concern is that it's gonna rot from the inside out.
You bet.
And so the plan is, and also they had these great little red shutters that were on the outsides of the window, and it really gave character to the building. It's very representative of this shift between the Spanish era and, the ranching part of this era into the more, when the New England design of buildings started coming into play. And it's got significant ties to, Rafael Castro. It was his daughter who married Jose Arano, who built that place. They were the owners who, they built the Bayview Hotel. They were building the Bayview Hotel while they were living in this house. That was the original Aptos Village before everything shifted to the other side of the creek there. So it's a very significant historic property, for Aptos. And, the plan is that they're going to get the right key. We're gonna meet back out there and hopefully before the end of the year. Bella is extremely pregnant, so she's about to go on maternity leave, but we're hoping to meet back up again before the end of the year so we can go in. Carolyn brought up a great idea. She suggested that they bring along
Locksmith.
not a locksmith, but no, a historic.
Bulldozer to take out the shed roof.
Someone who can advise on the historical, not a historical contractor, but, something to that, I'm sorry, the term is slipping my mind right now, but someone who can come out and say, this is original, this is from this time period, this is from that time
Architectural
period.
historian.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm very, very concerned about the state of that house right now, and it's something that I mean, I know we're on public record right now, but it's one of those things where I just think that like if nobody steps up, they're going to just do what needs to be done, and it's gonna get to a point where they just aren't taking care of it because they don't necessarily care to take care of it. My main goal is that there is no demolition by neglect, is basically the summary of all this. So to be continued, I'll hopefully have another report in February for everyone.
My very short thoughts on the subject, the additions attached to the original house need to go.
Yeah.
And then that house is probably not in the best position, the best place. And that perhaps it could be moved onto the same property, moved elsewhere and set at a different angle. And away from that steep embankment where I think the county wants to do, they want to go into that hillside and open up that roadway a little bit, which would undercut the existing foundation.
Yeah.
I don't know, so if it could move around 15, 20, 30 feet further away from Soquel
Drive, yeah.
Soquel Drive, it'd be best.
Yeah,
But you can't do that until you get rid of all those, the hodgepodge.
Yeah. and they definitely don't need to be kept. They're not historic in any part. But I mean, for the most part, the original building is very similar to the Baby Hotel. It's got really, strong bones. They built houses sturdy back then, and it's lasted 2 major earthquakes and countless storms, and it's still sitting in the same original spot. I would love to see it remain where it is. But I understand, the Baby Hotel was moved 300 feet from its original spot. The Heen Barn was moved from its original spot. Sometimes you do need to move historic structures in order to save them. I don't know if the RTC is planning on doing that. I don't know who's responsible for that when they're planning on widening Soquel Drive. I don't know, but I'm more than okay with letting the RTC rip out the adjacent attached building.
And the RCC could recoup their money after they're finished with their projects and sell that property or subdivide, sell it.
Yeah.
So the Rice house is there,
Yeah.
or the Rano house is there.
Well, they could, and we're in talks, a separate history hat that I wear is with the Aptos History Museum, and as you all know, we're a museum without a home right now. And so, I pointed out to Bella specifically, I said, hey, you know what, if you want to get some goodwill, the RTC, Lord knows, needs some goodwill in this community right now. You want some goodwill? Let's make a deal with the Aptos History Museum, give us some sort of, 99-year lease on the property, or sell it to us, for a reasonable amount. Because they don't want to hold on to it. They just need the property for their staging right now. So, yeah, there could be some deals in play for a local museum, because nothing would be cooler than to have a history museum in a historical building.
That's how Pajaro Valley started with it, the house and.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So to be continued on that, but I was hoping to get inside and take a closer look at the damage that's been done, but was not able to on this current visit. But yeah, those red shutters that I was telling you about, those were taken off of the building when it was originally sold, and I asked the old owner, did you take those down before you moved? Nope. Asked the RTC, did you guys remove them when you bought the place? Nope. Well, sure enough, I walked around the building, I found one of them just stashed on the side of the building. So with their permission, I took it and I'm keeping it safe in my garage, so if they need to create templates based off the original ones, they can. But that's just the kind of like neglect of it, it's just like, you don't know where the keys are, you don't know who did what to the building. Like, when's the last time you went inside the building? I don't know, it's been months, that's not good.
No,
All right. Okay, thank you for listening to me. Item 10B, certificate of appreciation for residents. Linda, this is you again.
this is me again. Sorry, I didn't make one.
Oh, that's okay, I'll cheat off of, Jim here.
So. So what, I guess my concern, and it's a small concern, is that, we haven't participated in the landmark ceremony in early May since 2022. And, 2012 was when we started. And the Landmarks Award had been around for many, many years before that. So it's a way of, it was another way for us to get visibility in the history community, to participate. So, the top part is a list of the certificates we've given out so far, but we haven't done it in 3 years. So, and since I didn't know when our first meeting was gonna be next year, my concern was if we did, that we wouldn't have a meeting to be able to discuss and select one or more properties to give a certificate to, and then enough time to put together a presentation to be a part of the ceremony. So, I talked to the one woman I was thinking of and that I mentioned to Matthew. And she's got a great old house in Boulder Creek, and she scours the nation to find people doing either actual using the same materials from way back when to make, say, wainscoting or getting lights or whatever for for her house, but she's been focusing on the inside. She said her porch definitely needs to be replaced. She's got chains across the front saying, go to the side door. And the house in Boulder Creek, the great thing, is in front, the sidewalk is actually about as high as this table. And it's from when, back in the 1800s, you used buggies, horses, the streets were mud. So you would be able to get out and be above the street. And that's the sidewalks on her street. So, but she says, I really, I've been putting off and I haven't really been, had the funds to replace the whole front porch, and so she's thrilled about the Mills Act. So maybe 2027. I talked to Lisa Robinson. She's the executive director of the San Lorenzo Valley Museum, where I worked in a past life. And, she had been mentioning this property. And actually, it's owned by not the name listed here, but by the grandson of my predecessor, Barbara Kennedy. And she said that she knows he did some work on it. And then when we had all the storms, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, the atmospheric rivers, a tree fell on it. So he's been doing repairs. So I called and left him a message, explained to him that I wanted to find out if he had been doing some exterior, because he's very interested in keeping it as original or as originally or replica as possible, and having Barbara as his grandmother, who was a commissioner, board director at the San Lorenzo Valley Museum. He was steeped in preserving history. And Lisa sent me information she had. She said that that this really isn't quite right about what was written up about it. But the feeling is that, Lisa felt that it might very well, cause it is on the inventory, what did she said? She said he thought that it might even, what was it, be part of the. You thought it might qualify, I think, for much higher than it's recognized.
For different NR status.
Yes, I was thinking it was,
You said
Let's
five to a
change
4,
from 5 to 4, yeah.
and
so,
the first page indicates it's already a 4. Top right-hand corner, so the change had apparently happened.
so, yeah, evidently he was in the Iron Man yesterday. Eric Kennedy. So, I'm hoping to hear back from him and then meet with him to take pictures of his house. Find out if it still would fit the criteria to stay on the inventory. But I wanted to throw it out there if, any of you had any ideas of any of your inventory properties that would, that they would like a certificate. There is no fee like what the blue plaque requires. It's just us putting together a certificate which you would sign as chair. And then we make, where the blue plaques focus a lot on the architecture. We focus more on the history with the criteria we have. So,
And this is the San Lorenzo Valley History Museum that's doing these?
no, it's the landmark awards. They give out the blue flags. And the Santa Cruz City Preservation Council, they're part of it, so it's more than one organization. And that's why, Annie approached, Marla about getting involved, and Susie's the one who, that puts everything together. So there has to be time then in giving her our PowerPoint. And so she can get it in the whole program. So, and then Matthew would get the certificates together and, get it over to Susie. So that's what that is about. This one I was gonna follow up with. But I think, if we can, we should try and make this something we do every year, like we're now going to the history fair.
Okay. So you listed here what you know of to be previous certificates of appreciation.
Yeah, those are the ones we.
And then this one, you're recommending that they get one.
Yeah. And I'll find out, and this is where I wanna hopefully meet with him to get updated pictures and to find out what, repairs he did. So hopefully it will still qualify for a certificate. And then I'll be doing a, updated, I guess, amendment to flesh out the history on it.
And is it something that, is there a presentation that goes along with it, like the
Yeah.
blue plaques?
Cause you get up there and you have a PowerPoint so they can see it.
Mhm.
And then, what I did is I would read what the history was.
Yeah.
That makes it on our inventory.
Oh.
Because that's what makes, as you were mentioning about blue plaques. The blue plaques are symbolic only. There's nothing, restrictions, there isn't anything. And the person, the owner of the building pays, it used to be 100, but whatever the cost is to make a plaque, they have to pay for that. Where, so it's more symbolic, where we do these certificates, but they don't get anything to put on their building saying that they are on the Santa Cruz County inventory. So it's kind of like the Venn diagram, some of them are both on the inventory and have a blue plaque. Others are one or the other. And it gets confusing to the people who have the buildings because they feel that the blue plaques does put restrictions on them. And it doesn't.
And this certificate of appreciation is now a third designation. But not designation, I should say, it's another recognition,
Exactly, we felt that people on the inventory, they come here,
yeah,
you know, but nobody ever knows that their house is significant.
yeah,
You know, so it's a way to at least bring some
Yeah.
spotlight
cool.
to them, so. So that was my presentation.
Great. Thank you. And if we have any properties of interest, we can email them.
I would say Matthew.
Mhm.
I sent you. Oh, you would send something out about the Redwood Village. And, I sent you the presentation with the PowerPoint, and it had all the pictures from back in the fifties when it was the car era, and then I think it was what was written up about it, cause it went to the Whitings,
Yeah,
Whiting family.
yeah. Okay, thank you for that. Item 11, staff liaison update.
Yes, so stipend reports were signed, so that's done. And then I want to add for the commissioners to keep an eye out and keep your ears open for these historic preservation workshops. I send stuff to you, but sometimes there's opportunities that I am not aware of. And so you wouldn't get it from me. You could get it by fishing on the internet and find something locally. I still, once a year, I contact staff here at City of Santa Cruz regarding working together on a workshop, but I haven't been getting any response from them. Oh, well.
All right, item 12, written communications outside of ex parte communications. I don't believe we have any, or do, unless we do, anything to report?
No.
No. All right, a review of items for future agendas. God. Well, we're gonna be carrying over a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I have something, this is just off the top of my head, and I'm sorry that Barry's not here, but, the website on how to get to the DPRs using this GIS web, I've done it, figured it out. I wrote up a little procedure on how to do it, and I'm happy to share that with others.
Ooh, good.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be good.
So it doesn't have to be.
Did you find it intuitive?
Yeah, actually, once I figured it out, I tried it a couple times, and what it surprised me is actually some of the DPRs are more up to date than the ones that I haven't seen.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, cause we use the update, yeah.
Yeah,
Scan,
so
yeah,
that's great.
cool,
now can we print those off?
sure,
Okay,
yeah, they pull
well,
up
I
as
guess do a
PDF,
screen print if nothing else,
well, they'll pull up as PDFs when you click on them,
okay.
yeah.
I have found, and just aside, I switched over to DuckDuckGo.
Oh, did you do that?
It won't let me open PDFs, I have to go back
Oh,
to
you-
Chrome
Adobe,
to open up PDFs.
There's a setting, you should just Google it, but there is a setting where you can.
In DuckDuckGo?
Yeah.
Cause you have to
Okay.
pay for it, you have to pay for it.
No,
No?
No, you don't, but Adobe will try to prompt you to pay for Adobe Acrobat
Mm.
Reader sometimes, but reading it is free. But
okay,
Google and DuckDuckGo.
you're gonna be our IT here for this commissioner.
Well, I've been through it. It was a while ago though, so I can't tell you how to do it off the top of my head.
All right, well, I think we made it through. This is a hefty agenda. There's a lot.
Just shy of 3 hours.
Yeah, definitely.
Good thing we had to.
That's right, take some donuts with you on the road.
So we're gonna adjourn the meeting. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Second.
okay. And all in favor?
Aye.
All right, okay.
Thank everybody for your patience while we all came.
No, no.
We are so happy to have you on.
And I still ask questions.